Yanran rubbed her sore shoulders and crawled out of the small office grid. The neon-lit city night scene outside the window was like a tired net, covering every soul who worked overtime. She took a deep breath. The air was mixed with the smell of coffee grounds and printer ink, and her boss's empty promise of, "Work harder and you'll get a bonus at the end of the year," echoed in her mind. At the age of 25, she squeezes into the subway and types on the keyboard every day. Her life is like a trivial battle that never ends. Where is the family? My parents are guarding the old house in the countryside. My younger brother said a while ago that he had something to do, but there has been no news since then. She shook her head, not daring to think too much. Tonight, she needed that virtual sanctuary. Interstellar fantasy, this is her only antidote. Opening the door, the second-hand space capsule was placed in the narrow rental house, like a heavy white coffin. She took off her coat, got into the cabin, wrapped her body in soft gel pads, and buckled her helmet lightly. The system voice sounded, as gentle as an old friend, "Welcome back, Yanran." Initializing, connecting to the virtual world. The world goes dark, then blooms. In front of you is the boundless galaxy, with a floating platform beneath your feet, and luminous particles floating around. She reached out and felt that familiar lightness. There was no pressure here, just endless possibilities. Yanran chose the novice mission, explore the edge planet and learn basic skills. She is a low-level player, her ID is Xingqian Xiaoyan, level 3, specializing in defense. In the game, she wears silver light armor and holds an energy shield generator in her hand, a blue force field that can block lasers and meteorites. "Hey, Xiaoyan, are you here to complete the mission again?" The voice of the system NPC came from the earphones, a virtual tutor who looked like an experienced driver with a scornful smile on his face. "Try the energy shield today. It's a bonus for newbies. It's free to unlock. Just imagine, the blue light flashes and all the enemies are dumbfounded." Yanran smiled, she was always confident in the game. "Okay, teach me how to use it." She followed the instructions and concentrated, and a translucent blue barrier appeared in front of her palm. During the test, a simulated meteorite hit, the shield buzzed and bounced off easily. Readily. She thought to herself that this feeling would never be possible in reality. But just as she was about to continue, the capsule suddenly began to tremble. The lights in the cabin flickered and the alarm sounded harsh, system abnormality. Energy fluctuations overflowed. Failed to disconnect. Yanran's heart sank, her vision began to distort, and the game screen overlapped with reality. The galaxy became blurry, and she felt like her body was being pulled, as if she was falling into a whirlpool. At the last moment, she instinctively activates the shield, blue light shines in the game, and then, everything turns to darkness. In the real world, Yanran opened her eyes suddenly, ejected from the space capsule, and fell to the floor dizzily. The lights in the rental house were still on, and the clock showed that only 20 minutes had passed. She rubbed her temples and muttered to herself, "Fault? Damn it, this broken machine." Rapid horn sounds and screams came from outside. She climbed to the window and took a look, and saw that the streets were in chaos. An out-of-control truck veered out of the driveway and onto the sidewalk, where a young mother pushing a stroller was retreating in panic. Time seemed to slow down. Yanran's heartbeat accelerated, and she subconsciously reached out her hand, just like in the game. Blu-ray. A thin energy shield emerged from her palm and lay across the front of the truck. With a bang, the truck hit an invisible wall. The tires screeched against the ground. The front of the truck twisted, but it failed to move forward. The mother froze on the spot, the child cried loudly, and the passers-by screamed and dispersed. "Oh my God, what is that?" someone yelled. Yanran stared blankly at her hands. The blue light gradually faded away, but there was still a buzzing sound on her fingertips. Her mind was buzzing, this wasn't a hallucination. The skills of the game have penetrated. Fear was like ice water on top of her head, and she huddled by the window, clasping her knees with her hands. Why me? Will this glitch destroy me? She imagined hospital examinations, police investigations, and the complete collapse of her life. Escape from reality was her purpose, but now she was dragged back by the chaos of reality. But amid the screams, the mother suddenly turned her head and waved upstairs. Thank you. Miss Upstairs, thank you. The child's crying gradually stopped, and passers-by began to applaud, and some even whistled. Yanran's heart trembled slightly. Those eyes were not of fear, but of gratitude. She stood up and opened the window, her voice trembling but firm. No. It's okay, everyone, be careful. The blue light saved people, this is a fact. The fear receded and was replaced by excitement. She was no longer the powerless office worker, she had power. The phone suddenly rang. It was Chen-Shi's call. Chen-Shi was her friend from the engineering department in college, and now she was engaged in maintenance at a technology company, specializing in repairing things like space capsules. Yanran picked up, her voice still breathy. Hey, Chen-Shi, the space capsule broke down. It's broken. What's going on? Chen-Shi's voice was as urgent as ever, like a big brother, and there was the sound of typing on the keyboard in the background. I detected an energy overflow in your cabin number. It's serious. What did you do in the game? The server of Interstellar Fantasy also alerted the police. Yanran hesitated for a moment and then explained everything about what had just happened, including the blue light. There was silence on the other end of the phone for a few seconds, and then he exploded. What? Transferring skills to reality. This is a malfunction, yes, but it sounds like the legendary, intertwining phenomenon. I'll come to your house and diagnose it right away. Don't touch the cabin, maybe it can be repaired. Half an hour later, Chen-Shi burst into the door carrying a toolbox, her tall and thin figure blocking the light from the door, her eyes shining with excitement. Let me see. He squatted next to the space capsule, connected the diagnostic device, and a bunch of data popped up on the screen. Well, the core module is burned a little, but the energy circuit is still there. Yanran, this is not an ordinary fault. The game company's black technology is supposed to isolate reality from reality, but now it is leaking. Your energy shield is a basic skill, not very strong, but when used in reality, wow, it is a superpower. Yanran sat on the edge of the bed, hugging her knees, and her inner monologue came flooding in. What can I really change? No longer just escape, but protection. Excitement made her clench her fists. Chen-Shi, if this is true, I can do more with it. For example, my brother, he said last week that he was going to a game company for an internship, and then lost contact. The news said that players mysteriously disappeared recently, pointing to the deep events in the interstellar fantasy world. Perhaps, this glitch is a clue. Chen-Shi raised her head, her brows furrowed, and the rigor of a science and engineering man in her character was clearly revealed. Missing? That sounds bad. The deep level of the game is a high-level area, and there are rumors that there is a hidden plot involving the company's conspiracy. I can try to hack into the system and give you backdoor support. But Yanran, this is dangerous. Are you sure? She stood up and looked out the window. The sirens on the street were fading away, and the street lights lengthened her shadow. Sure. I used to hide in games, but now I can bring out that power. It feels good to save people, and it would be even better to save my family. This was her transition from a passive evader to an active investigator. Deep inside, the dormant courage was awakened and shone like blue light. She patted Chen-Shi on the shoulder and showed a rare smile. Thanks, buddy. After repairing the cabin, I want to go back. Go deep into the game and find out the truth. Chen-Shi nodded and typed the last command. Okay, support is in place. Remember, reality and virtuality are intertwined, so be careful. After the energy shield is upgraded, it may be able to block bullets. He stood up with a smile, and the two high-fived. The smell of metal and circuits filled the air. Yanran got back into the space capsule and put her helmet on. The system restarted, this time with a strange buzzing sound. Welcome back, Yanran. Enter the interstellar illusion. Deep mode unlocked. The vision bloomed again, but this time, the galaxy seemed to be very close at hand. She clenched her fists, and blue light flashed on her fingertips. The adventure really begins. The stars were entwined like silver threads, and Yanran felt her body floating lightly. The familiar floating platform was beneath her feet, but this time, the surrounding particles were no longer just decorations, they pulsed slightly like living creatures, bringing a slight chill when they touched the skin. She blinked, and the game interface flashed at the edge of her vision. Level 3, the energy shield skill has been synchronized, and the reality is at risk of overflow. After the deep mode is unlocked, the primary area looks more vivid. The planet in the distance is suspended like a crystal ball, and the air is filled with the smell of metal and ionization, faintly mixed with the low roar of a distant storm. Look for clues first, Yanran murmured to herself, clenching her fists, and a blue light flashed across her fingertips. She chose the edge planet, Nova Ruins. According to the game forum, this is a good place for novices to complete tasks. There are occasionally hidden events about missing players. My younger brother's ID is Shadowblade Boy. Last week he sent a message saying that he was going to the company for an internship, and then we lost contact. It was mentioned in the news that there is a bug in the deep server of Interstellar Fantasy, and players cannot get out after entering it. She took a deep breath, stepped onto the teleportation beam, her body was stretched, and then landed heavily. The ruins of Nova are a desolate fragment of the planet. The ground is full of cracks. The gray rocks reflect the light of the twin moons. When the wind blows, it picks up fine sand and slaps it on her light armor, making a rustling sound. In the distance, the remains of abandoned space capsules were scattered, like the skeletons of giant beasts, faintly buzzing with residual energy. She opened the map and marked several suspicious points. One was the monument to the missing, mentioned in the player forum, and it was said that clues had emerged. Yanran moved forward cautiously, her footsteps making a crunching sound on the gravel. On the way, she picked up a glowing crystal, and the system prompted, obtained energy fragment X1, which can be used to upgrade skills. She thought to herself that this game always makes people feel that every step is rewarding, not as empty as reality. Suddenly, a black shadow flashed at the edge of her vision, a wild game pet, like a mechanical fox, with blue arcs flashing on its fur and red eyes staring at her. Hey, little guy, don't make trouble. Yanran knelt down and stretched out her hand. The fox growled and pounced, but she activated the shield in time and flicked it away with a flash of blue light. The system pops up taming options, feed crystals or fight to conquer. She hesitated and threw out a fragment. The fox sniffed, flicked his tail, and rubbed her leg affectionately. Taming successful. Got assistant, Arc Fox. Yanran was happy and touched its head. The fox purred like a cat. From now on, you can ask Xiaodian to help me find the way. With a small electric charge, she continued deeper. The monument is at the end of the field of view, a tilted stone pillar, with messages from players engraved around it. Who will save my brother? He is stuck in the depths. Yanran's heart tightened, and the shadow of her brother emerged. She scanned the inscription, and the system rang. Hidden clues detected. The disappearance is related to the game company's internal testing. Go to the next area, Hidden Mist Valley, to get more information. As she was recording, a low roar came from the crack. The ground trembled, and a small boss monster sprang out, a magma worm, as big as a calf, with its body covered in lava. The heat wave hit her face, and the air instantly became scorching, and Yanran's back was soaked with sweat. Damn, why is this thing in the novice area? She took a step back, and Xiaodian screamed and pounced on it. The electric arc bit the worm's tail, but was thrown away and hit the rock with a snap. Yanran activated the shield and protected herself with blue light, but the worm's acid jet came straight at her. The shield buzzed and barely blocked it, but it made her arms numb. The inner monologue came up, I can't fight hard, I have to find a way. I used to be reckless in the game, but after the real-life failure, I can't be blind. She glanced around and found a pile of crystals beside the crack, and an idea flashed through her mind, using a shield to reflect the heat wave. Just when she hesitated, a ray of silver light fell from the sky and hit the worm's head. The monster howled and rolled down the crack. Yanran raised her head and saw a figure landing, a tall man in black robe, his face hidden under the hood, his eyes as sharp as stars, holding an energy whip in his hand. The tip of the whip was still dripping with plasma. Newbie. You're lucky to meet me. His voice was low and magnetic, like an old jianghu telling a story. Who are you? Yanran stood up alertly, and Xiaodian staggered back to her feet, licking her wounds. The man took off his hood, revealing a handsome but pale face, with a playful smile on his lips. Yichen, the ranger in the game. You may have heard of ID, high-level player. But something is wrong. He walked closer and glanced at the remaining light of her shield. The energy fluctuations are abnormal, like reality overflowing. Space capsule malfunction, right? A rare interweaver. Yanran was shocked and clenched her fists. How do you know? This is my secret. The wind became stronger around her, and the sand hit her face painfully. She felt the embarrassment of being exposed like a ray of light on her back. Yichen shrugged, leaned against the stone pillar, and said in a relaxed tone, I specialize in studying deep-seated bugs. The game company hides secrets, and the glitch is not an accident, but a part of the test. Your brother, the Shadow Blade boy. He disappeared in the hidden mist valley, and I have clues. But don't worry, if you rush blindly like this, you will only become cannon fodder. He stretched out his palm, and a golden light emerged. Come, try this hidden skill, the connection between virtual and real. Only interweavers can learn it, giving you an in-game preview of the real-life effects. For example, see the consequences clearly before attacking to avoid the backlash of reality. Yanran hesitated for a moment, her heart churning. Trust strangers? But he saved me, my brother's clue. She nodded and touched the golden light. The system prompts, learning successfully. Virtual Real Link LV1 can simulate the real-life projection of skills and predict risks. There is an extra layer of filters in the field of vision, and the shield just now shows reality strength, medium, lasts for 10 minutes, no side effects. She tried to activate it and felt that the power was more precise. It was no longer a reckless blue light, but a controllable blue net. Thanks, Yichen. This skill changes everything. Yanran smiled, feeling for the first time that she was not a victim, but a player. I used to be straightforward, but now I can think of strategies. Like working in reality, being impulsive will only lead to overtime until you die. Yichen nodded with a deep look in his eyes. Smart. Game elites like me rely on their brains to make a living. Social stratification, Elites live in luxury cabins, getting high scores in exchange for real-life privileges. Hard workers like you squeeze into the cabin to escape, but are used as guinea pigs by the company. The disappearance is a conspiracy, and there is AI control deep down, swallowing up player data. Your fault is the key, which can overturn the balance. But remember, strategy comes first. There is Jing Qi in the Hidden Mist Valley, a careerist who specializes in grabbing resources for newcomers. As soon as he finished speaking, footsteps were heard in the distance. 3 passerby players rushed out, led by a strong man with ID, Brother Iron Fist, level 5, and 2 followers behind him, holding laser guns, and surrounded them with smiles. Hey, newbie girl, I heard that you have a rare pet. Let us play with it, otherwise. Their muzzles flashed red, and the air was filled with the smell of gunpowder. Yanran's heart beat faster, but the connection between reality and reality flashed. The prediction showed that the shield blocked it, but the reality was not hindered. She sneered, borrow it? Dreaming. Xiaodian jumped out, and the electric arc entangled a follower, and the guy screamed and fell to the ground. Yanran rushed forward, the blue net spread out, and the Iron Fist brother's fist flew away. He stared wide-eyed. What the hell skill? She kicked the player, and the system sounded, defeat the player, gain experience plus 50. Seeing that the situation was not good, the two followers dropped their props and fled in a hurry. Yichen clapped and laughed. That's right, the feeling of crushing is here. This is power. Yanran gasped, an unprecedented pleasure welling up in her heart, not the illusion of the game, but real control. In the past, she could only endure the boss's difficulties. Now, she can fight back. Confidence is like a tide, drowning fear. Yes, this feeling is addictive. Speed up the upgrade. I want to rush to the hidden mist valley and save my brother. Suddenly, the headset buzzed, which was Qin-Shi's communication. Yanran, the reality cabin is 30% repaired and the energy is stable. I checked some company data. There are abnormal fluctuations in the hidden mist valley, and your brother's ID last appeared there. Be careful, Jing Qi's guild is spawning monsters nearby to provide coordinate support. There was the jingle of tools clashing in the background of his voice, which sounded reliable. Received, thank you. Yanran replied, closing the communication. Yichen handed over a data crystal. There is a map of Taniguchi in it, as well as elite intelligence. Remember, play the game strategically, and don't let reality collapse. His figure faded, as if he was logging out. See you next time, Intervector. Yanran looked towards the direction of the hidden mist valley, where clouds and mist were lingering, and a low roar could be heard faintly. She patted Xiaodian's head, and blue light danced in her palms. Let's go, little friend. We've just warmed up for adventure. The wind blew away the sand and dust. Although the road ahead was dangerous, it was full of light. The entrance to Kirigakure Valley is like a huge open mouth. Clouds and mist wrap around the cliff like white tentacles. The air is so humid that it can squeeze out water, mixed with the smell of earth and faint sulfur. Yanran took a deep breath. Xiaodian jumped around her feet, and its tail flicked out blue arcs, like an excited navigation light. Don't worry, little friend, she whispered, holding the data crystal given by Yichen tightly. The map inside unfolded in her field of vision, marking several hidden paths. Let's take our time. Who knows what is hidden in the fog? She stepped into the valley, her footsteps making a grunting sound on the soft moss. The surrounding trees were twisted like bones, and green light occasionally flashed between the branches and leaves, which were the eyes of low-level monsters. A system prompt pops up. Entering the intermediate map, experience bonus will be 20%. Yanran thought to herself that this place is much wilder than the Nova ruins. If her brother is stuck in the depths, he must quickly find clues. An inner monologue flashed. In the past, I would only refresh the new area to escape reality. Now, I am walking on thin ice, but this feels alive. Not long after walking, a furry thing emerged from the mist in front of it, a chubby monster, like a flying pig, with colorful feathers all over its body, an airbag trailing behind its butt, and it flapped its wings and made a strange, puff sound. It stared at Yanran with round eyes, like a greedy kid next door. Ouch, what is this? Yanran couldn't help laughing. Xiaodian growled excitedly, arcs of electricity jumping between her paws. The monster rushed towards it, its airbag inflated, and sprayed out a stream of rainbow bubbles. When the bubbles exploded, they released a sweet and fruity fragrance. Yanran smelled it and felt a little dizzy. Psychedelic bubbles. Funny skills. She activated the energy shield, blue light flashed, and the bubbles hit the shield and shattered, like a fireworks show. System prompt, Warcraft Rainbow Pig King, weakness, airbag sensitivity, can be tamed as a mount. Xiaodian rushed forward and bit the pig's tail. The Pig King screamed and sprayed his butt. Rainbow smoke filled the air. Yanran coughed and retreated. Hallucinations appeared in front of her eyes. She became a pig knight and charged on Xiaodian. Ha, that's funny. She shook her head, concentrated, and previewed using virtual reality connection. The taming success rate is 80%, and the reality projection has no side effects. She threw out an energy fragment. The Pig King sniffed it, his eyes lit up, and he obediently rubbed against her leg, deflating the airbag. Taming successful. Obtained a mount, Rainbow Pig King, which can accelerate movement and release auxiliary bubbles. Yanran rolled on the back of the pig, and the Pig King grunted and rushed forward. The wind blew away the mist, and the speed made her laugh out loud. Xiaodian, keep up. This valley adventure has turned into a zoo. Riding the Pig King deep into the valley, she found the first clue, a cracked stone tablet with vague runes engraved on it. After the scan, the system rang, detecting missing player data, Shadow Blade Boy's last location, AI core area deep in the valley. A company testing bug caused player data to be locked and unable to log out. Yanran's heart sank, and her brother's face appeared. That kid always likes to brag, saying that internships in game companies can make a fortune, but now he is stuck in the bug? She touched the Pig King's feathers, and her heart was churning. Can't panic, I have to think of a solution independently. In the past, I always relied on the morning sun to repair the cabin, but now, it's my turn to take control. While recording, the sound of footsteps came from the fog. A group of players sprang out, led by a woman with red hair, wearing a gorgeous battle robe, ID, Queen Jingqi, level 8, holding a flaming sword, surrounded by a ring of fire, heat waves hitting her face, distorting the air. Hey, novice girl, this stone tablet is my territory. Jingqi's voice was sharp, like fingernails scraping glass, with a sarcastic smile on her lips. I heard that you have rare pets and malfunctioning golden fingers. Hand them over, or your pig will be burned. Yanran narrowed her eyes, and the connection between reality and reality flashed. The opponent has strong fire attributes, and the shield can block it for 3 seconds, but the risk of reality overflow is low. She dismounted, Xiaodian and Pig King guarding her. Your territory. Whoever has the toughest fist in the game has the final say. Internal monologue, in the past, I would give in, just like swallowing my anger at work. Now, I can't. My brother's clue cannot be cut off. Jingqi laughed, and the 2 followers behind him activated the laser net to block the escape route. Little white mouse, you are quite arrogant. Sisters, come on. The follower rushed over, one punching and the other shooting the net. Yanran activated the shield, the blue light unfolded, the fist buzzed as it hit, the laser net bounced off, and fragments fell like rain. She pushed with her backhand, and the blue net expanded, throwing a follower away and smashing into the mud pit, screaming, Boss, this girl's shield is abnormal. Jingqi frowned and slashed down with the flaming sword. The heat wave burned her skin, and Yanran felt her cheeks burning. She dodged sideways, and the small electric pounce bit Jingqi's boots, making a sizzling sound. The Pig King sprayed bubbles, and the psychedelic smoke made Jingqi's eyes blurred, and his sword was deflected. Damn it, what the hell is this pig? Jingqi roared, the ring of fire expanded, forcing Xiaodian back. Yanran seized the opportunity and charged forward to activate the virtual and real connection, previewing the path, directly hitting the weak point of the airbag. She jumped up and kicked Jingqi's ring of fire. The blue light protected her body, but the flames licked it but could not penetrate it. Let me give you a word, dreaming. The system sounded, hit a vital point, Jingqi's defense minus 20%. Experience plus 100, energy shield upgraded to LV2, duration plus 5 seconds. Jingqi retreated, her face livid, you, a malfunctioner. The guild will not let you go. She dropped the smoke bomb and fled in a hurry with her followers. Her curse came from the fog, damn interweaving insects, I will crush you sooner or later. Yanran gasped, wiped her sweat, and felt a surge of heat in her heart, from defense to counterattack, this feeling. No longer passively being beaten, but taking the initiative. The competitive mentality was ignited like a flame, and she clenched her fists. Jingqi, remember this face. Next time we meet, I will crush you. Xiaodian licked her hand, and the Pig King grunted and rubbed his legs. The humorous atmosphere relieved the tension. She picked up the flame crystal dropped by Jingqi, and the system prompted, can be used for skill fusion. Suddenly, the vision flickered, and Ichen's projection appeared, like a holographic ghost. Well done, little intertwiner. Jingqi is a game elite who specializes in blocking newcomers to grab resources. Her guild colludes with the company. His voice was low, and his eyes under the hood flickered. I will add the clues on the stone tablet. Your brother is not an accident, the deep-seated bug is an AI experiment, locking the player's consciousness, extracting data to model realistic control. The company's top executives want to use this to overturn the social balance and keep the elite at the top forever. There is a portal in the core of Hidden Mist Valley, and space skills are required to enter. I'll pass you on a hidden mission, tame the Gusho beast and unlock space jump. Yanran nodded, her heartbeat quickening. Portal. It sounds like an orgasm. Thanks, Ichen. You always look like a game cheat. Ichen chuckled, check in. This is survival. Remember, bug incidents involve more than one member of your family. Some players reported that parents are also missing, pointing to internal purges within the company. Be careful, after the space jump is learned, real-life applications will amplify the risks. The projection faded, and Yanran rode on the Pig King and followed the map deeper. Heat rises at the bottom of the valley, and a giant guardian beast appears, a space bat, with wings like black hole whirlpools and eyes shining with starlight. It flapped its wings, the air twisted, and Yanran felt her body being pulled. Come on. She activated the upgraded shield, the blue light was more stable, the small electric arc assisted, and the Pig King sprayed psychedelic bubbles. The battle was fierce, and the bat's space wave made her dizzy, but she used the link preview to seize the opportunity to feed the crystal. The bat whined and wrapped its wings around her, taming successful. Unlocked skills, Space Jump LV1, Short Distance Teleportation, Virtual and Real Synchronization, Consuming Energy. Skills flowed into my mind like a cool stream. Yanran tried it out, and she jumped 10 meters in the game and landed silently. I felt happy, this is not just a game, it can be brought to reality. In the real world, she suddenly ejected from the space capsule, her helmet still on, and the clock showed 6 o'clock in the morning. Outside the rental house, there was a sharp knock on the door, it was the boss. She worked overtime until late yesterday and she was late. There has been a lot of talk about layoffs in the company recently, and the boss's greasy face will definitely get angry. A roar came from outside the door, Yanran. Are you late again? People inside, I know you are there. Open the door. Yanran was flustered, and the feeling of jumping through space flashed through her mind. We can no longer rely on Qinshi. He came to the rescue in the last crisis, but this time, he will do it himself. She concentrated, ripples appeared in front of her palms, her vision was distorted, her body moved lightly, teleportation. She appeared directly from the cabin to the window, her steps were light when she landed, and the curtains blocked her view. The boss's knock on the door became distant. She took a deep breath and said to herself, she is independent and no longer hides under the wings of others. In this transition, from game dependence to reality freedom, I am the decision-maker. She slipped out the back door. The subway was crowded with office workers and the air was as muggy as a steamer. The phone rang, and it was Qinshi, Yanran. There was a big fluctuation in the valley last night. I detected that the fault is stable, but the risk of space skill overflow is high. Company data shows that deep-seated bugs are spreading and affecting the real network. Your brother's location is locked, close to the AI core, but the Jingqi Guild is intercepting it. Do you need me to hack more? Yanran hesitated, then replied firmly, thanks, Chensi. But this time I will do it myself. Just monitor, don't work too hard. After hanging up the phone, she felt a little lighter on her shoulders. Double pressure follows you, the conspiracy in the game and the quagmire of the workplace in reality. The intertwining of reality and reality made her excited but exhausted, her brother's safety and the company's shady situation were like two swords hanging over her head. But growth lies in this, she thought, no longer escaping, integrating them, breaking the balance. The glass curtain wall of the company building reflected the sunlight. She pushed the door and entered, and the boss's glare swept over her. You are half an hour late, please explain. She smiled sweetly, feeling calm. Boss, there was a fault last night, and I fixed it. Come, let's talk about my new proposal, about virtual reality. In her voice, she was no longer the girl who shrank. The rhythm of adventure continues from the valley to here, and the main conspiracy is being revealed step by step. During her lunch break, she slipped back to the cabin, and a message from Chin-Shi popped up. The fluctuations are normal, and the deep coordinates are updated. Be careful of the AI guards. Yanran nodded and got into the cabin. The blue ripples jumping in space are dancing at the fingertips. Hidden Mist Valley, wait for me. Behind the portal, the shadow of his brother is getting closer and closer. Yanran took a deep breath, the buckle of the helmet clicked lightly, and the capsule's gel pad wrapped around her body like a warm hug. The system voice echoed in her ears, the deep mode is stable, and the space jump is synchronized. Welcome to the interstellar illusion, Yanran. Her vision flashed, and she was standing at the bottom of the hidden Kiri Valley. The clouds and mist surged like living things, bringing a slight coolness when they touched the skin. The portal in the distance glowed faintly, like a pulsating blue vortex. The surrounding air became heavy, mixed with the smell of ionized ozone, and the little lightning and rainbow pig king whispered alertly beside her. The pig king's air sacs were slightly inflated, ready to spray bubbles. The portal is right in front of you. Yanran murmured to herself, clenching her fists, and blue ripples spread on her fingertips. She mounted the pig king and pushed it forward. The space jumped in a flash, her body teleported 5 meters lightly, and a crack was torn open in the mist. A system prompt pops up, the intermediate copy, Vortex Guardian, is unlocked, and the challenge reward, artifact-level props. Her brother's ID signal was deep inside, and she couldn't stop. A flash occurred in his heart, this is no longer a fight alone, we have to fight for him. The entrance to the dungeon is a huge crystal arch, surrounded by an energy storm. The wind blows the rocks into pieces, making a crackling sound. Yanran jumped off the pig king, activated her shield and blue light to protect her body, and she approached step by step. Inside the door was a floating maze, with platforms suspended in the void like a chessboard. Below was an endless cloud of stardust. The shocking abyss made her stomach tighten. Xiaodian flapped his tail to explore the way, and King Pig grunted to follow. Come, guardians, she whispered, stepping into the first level. Monsters came in like a tidal wave, a group of energy ghosts, shaped like twisted shadows, arcing with tentacles as they waved, filling the air with the smell of burning. Yanran jumped in space to dodge, and teleported to the side. The blue net unfolded, trapping the 3 ghosts. The system sounded, defeat X3, experience plus 150. But the guardian boss appeared, a star beast, as big as a whale, with scales shining with starlight. A flick of its tail set off space waves, and the platform trembled. She felt her body being pulled and her vision distorted. Damn, this guy has space attributes. Yen then retreated, a small electric arc wrapped around the tail of the giant beast, the pig king sprayed out psychedelic bubbles, and the rainbow smoke made the boss move slowly. She concentrated her mind and connected the virtual and the real. Preview, the weak point is the energy core in the abdomen, which can be tamed with a direct hit. The inner monologue is short, don't be reckless, be precise, just like real workplace negotiations, hit the target with one blow. She jumped, and the blue light shield turned into a spear, stabbing straight into the abdomen. The giant beast roared and the space wave backfired, making her dizzy, but the tip of the spear sank into it, and the system rang wildly, heavy hit. The taming success rate is 70%, success. Obtained an ally pet, Star Guardian Beast, which can provide space shield assistance. The giant beast shrunk into a fist-sized blue crystal beast, flew onto her shoulder, let out a low cry, flapped its wings, and raised a starlight barrier around it, strengthening her shield. Xiaoxing, welcome to join. Yanran smiled and touched it, feeling the power pouring in. Deep in the dungeon, the treasure chest opened, and a crystal key emerged, the key to reality, an artifact level, which can enhance the skill penetration rate by 50%, making the boundary between reality and reality more blurred. System explanation. After use, the game's skills are applied in real life without cooling down, and the risk is minimized. But just when she touched the key, an energy wave erupted outside the copy, and the real world suddenly became clouded, with thunder rolling outside the window. Yanran was shocked. Virtual events affect real weather? Is the company server overloaded? She grabbed the key and forcibly logged out. Her body was ejected from the cabin. The lights of the rental house flickered. It was raining heavily outside, and the raindrops hit the window like bullets. This key, try it. Yanran murmured, and the key turned into blue light and melted into the palm of her hand. There was a knock on the door in the corridor. It was the neighbor's aunt, Aunt Wang, a single mother. She always complained that her second-hand space capsule was broken and her son could not get out after entering the game. In reality, she worked overtime until she collapsed. Yanran, please help. My cabin is malfunctioning again. The lights keep flashing. My son is stuck in the card. I don't have money to repair it. Yanran opened the door, and Wang's eyes were red and swollen, rain was dripping from the umbrella, and the air was filled with the smell of wet earth. She hesitated for a moment, and a warm current surged in her heart. I used to just escape by myself, but now, this power can help others. Here comes the twist, from personal adventure to reaching out. Auntie, don't worry, let me take a look. She followed her into the room. Aunt Wang's cabin was buzzing and the screen was dotted with snowflakes. Yanran stretched out her hand, activated the key to reality, and the blue ripples spread, touching the cabin. Energy poured in like a tide, the faulty circuit lit up, and the system restarted. The connection is restored, the player data is unlocked. Aunt Wang's son's voice came from the cabin, Mom, I'm out. The boy popped out of the hatch and hugged his mother, dumbfounded. Neighbors gathered around after hearing the sound, and some applauded. Yanran, you are a Superman. The rain gradually stopped, the clouds opened and the fog dispersed, like a miracle. Aunt Wang wiped away her tears and held her hand. Thank you, child. If you have anything to do in the future, please ask Auntie. Yanran smiled, and a sense of responsibility sprouted in her heart like a seed. I am no longer alone, I can take the lead and help more people. This feeling, as warm as blue light, washes away the powerlessness of the past. Inner monologue, growing up, from hiding to leading the way, this is the beginning of a leader. But the joy did not last long, and the phone rang with a call from Qinshi. Yanran, the weather change just now was caused by the copy fluctuation, and the company's server is testing the interweaving effect. I hacked your data, and the key to reality is awesome. The penetration rate increased by 50%. It is recommended to fuse space jumps into virtual and real teleportation, which can avoid danger in reality. But be careful, overloading will lead to company tracking. Received, thank you. Yanran hung up and got back into the cabin. The game restarted and she teleported to the portal. Xiaoxing's starlight barrier made the shield more stable. Inside the door is a deep passage, and the younger brother's signal is within easy reach. But in the mist, Jing Qi's laughter rang out, little intertwined insects, we meet again. This time I brought a team, the guild elites, to destroy you. Jing Qi rushed out with a team of 5 people, 2 strong men in tanks holding giant shields, 2 mages releasing fire nets, and an assassin approaching invisibly. Jing Qi's flame sword was upgraded, fire dragons wrapped around her body, and heat waves distorted the air. I gave you a chance last time, but this time I'll steal your artifacts and pets. The tank rushed towards him, and the shield struck like thunder. Yanran jumped out of the way, and the blue net rebounded, sending a tank flying and hitting the wall with a roar. Team ambush? Seriously? Yanran sneered. With the help of small electric arc, Pig King sprayed the psychedelic mage, and the rainbow smoke made them dizzy. The little star flaps its wings, the starlight barrier blocks the fire net, and the debris falls like a meteor shower. The assassin rushed from the darkness, the dagger flashed with cold light. She previewed it with virtual and real teleportation. She ducked behind and stabbed with the blue spear. The system said, "Defeat the assassin, experience plus 200. Jing Qi roared, "Go ahead, use all your strength." The fire dragon rushed towards her, licking her skin with heat, and she felt the sweat evaporate. Just as her shield shook, a silver whip was drawn from the side. Yi Chen appeared, hunting in black robes. The energy whip entangled the fire dragon, and the plasma exploded. Join forces, little intertwiner. My information, Guild Jingqi is a company lackey, specializing in eliminating malfunctioners. He teleported to the tank, flicked his whip, and the two strong men fell to the ground, their screams echoing. Yanran nodded, full of confidence. From defense to offense, this is a new realm. With the key of reality activated and her skill penetration fully activated, she teleported through the fire net and hit Jingqi directly. Let me borrow your words, I will crush you to death sooner or later. The blue net turned into a huge wave, wrapping around Jing Qi's sword, and the starlight barrier suppressed the fire dragon. Xiaodian bit her leg, and Pig King Pow Pow blocked the escape route. Jingqi struggled, impossible. Have you upgraded? Yanran pushed, and the system beeped wildly, heavy attack. Jingqi's camp was completely wiped out. She received 5x trophies, and the energy shield LV3 was unlocked, offensive mode, blue wave attack range plus 100%. Jingqi logged out in disgrace, and her roar came from the guild channel, "Damn it, wait." Yanran gasped and laughed, and Yi Chen patted her shoulder. How does it feel to be crushed so refreshingly? Your growth is from a novice to a leader. She clenched her fists and felt an orgasm in her heart. Self-confidence is like a galaxy, infinitely expanding. The former flinch turned into an active flame. Yi Chen pulled her to the side of the passage and whispered, "The company's hidden agenda is more than just bugs. The Deep AI is the Balance Guardian, designed to maintain elite rule, extracting data from workers, strengthening virtual privileges, and controlling the economy in reality. Your brother discovered the internal files and was locked. The company's top management wants to use the interlacing phenomenon to expand, subvert society, and make the malfunctioning victims the victims. I am the insider, providing clues, but be careful, the AI has noticed you." Yanran's heart sank. After the portal, Yi Chen nodded, directly to the AI core, "You have more than one family member. Go ahead and use new skills to merge the world." His figure faded away, leaving the data crystal behind. Upgrade route, fuse the starlight of the small star, and transform teleportation into group assistance. In reality, Yanran took off her helmet. The sky was clear outside the window, and the laughter of neighbors came from the corridor. She touched the blue ripple in her palm, and her brother's shadow became clearer. Responsibility and self-confidence are intertwined, and adventures advance layer by layer. The next climax is waiting at the core. Yanran opened the window and let the early morning sunlight shine into the rental house. The laughter of the neighbors still echoed in the corridor, like an unexpected celebration. She touched the blue ripples in her palm and felt the power pulsating like a heartbeat. The shadow of her younger brother became clear in her mind. The victory in Kirigakure Valley made her full of confidence, but it also brought a faint fatigue. In this intertwined world, the game is no longer a pure escape, but an extension of responsibility. She shook her head, grabbed her cell phone and called Qin Shi. "Hey, buddy, how was the upgrade last night? The key to reality makes me feel like I'm cheating, but I'm always worried about overloading." On the other end of the phone, Qin Shi's voice was mixed with the clanking of tools. "Haha, hang up? This is an upgraded version of Black technology. I have added a stabilization module to your cabin. The risk of energy overflow has been reduced to 20%, and the practical application of space jump will not cause dizziness. I am monitoring the deep fluctuations. Jing Qi's Women's Guild channel is cursing, saying that the Alliance elite will block you. Be careful, I will hack the company firewall again and give you a backdoor. Thank you, Chensi. You are always like my backing general." Yanran smiled, and a warm current flashed in her heart. From dependence to mutual trust, this relationship is growing. She hung up the phone, climbed into the capsule, and buckled her helmet on. The system buzzed, stable mode activated, entering the interstellar illusion. The deep passage is unlocked. The vision bloomed, and she was already standing in front of the portal. The little electric was purring against her legs, the rainbow pig king hummed and arched, and the little star flapped its wings on its shoulders, and the starlight fell like a drizzle. Let's go, friends. The core server is waiting. Yanran patted Xiaodian's head, and King Pig excitedly sprayed a rainbow bubble. When the bubbles floated, they emitted a fruity fragrance. Xiaodian chased and bit them, and the two pets made a fuss, like two naughty children. She couldn't help laughing. Xiaodian, your Arc Fox has become the boss, and the Pig King still refuses to accept it. Don't bite, who will take you away if you bite it? Xiaodian flicked her tail, and the lightning flashed, and the Pig King was so frightened that her airbags deflated, and she arched her boots to beg for mercy. This kind of easy interaction instantly relieved the pressure of the game. She thought to herself, these little guys can always make me happy. The portal flashed, and they teleported into the hidden area, Elemental Abyss. This is a rarely visited forbidden area in the game, surrounded by floating elemental islands. Magma is rolling on the fire island, and the heat wave hits the face like a steamer, waterfalls pour on the water island, and the moisture is as sticky as a summer rainstorm, the air current on the wind island roars, making the platform shake, there are huge rocks on the earth island, and the ground trembles like an earthquake. The air is mixed with the smell of sulfur, salty humidity and earth, and elemental particles flicker at the edge of the field of vision, like countless fireflies dancing. System prompt, hidden area is activated, challenge the elemental guardian, and unlock elemental manipulation skills. Yanran rode on the Pig King and followed the guidance of the little star. The first island is the fire domain. A group of flame elves rush towards it. Fireballs fall down like meteors, and the scorching air distorts the vision. She jumped in space to dodge, and the blue net shield blocked a wave, and the system sounded, heat resistance plus 10%. A small electric arc wrapped around an elf, making a sizzling sound. The Pig King sprayed the fire with foam, and the rainbow smoke made the elf dizzy. Yanran went straight to the core, a fire phoenix boss hovered, its wings fanned out fire rain, and the heat wave made her skin red. Come on. She teleported into the sky, the blue wave attack extinguished the flames, the starlight barrier suppressed it, and finally stabbed the phoenix's core. Tamed successfully. Obtained fire element fragments. Then she challenged Water Island, Wind Island, and Earth Island in turn. One battle on each island, and the pets cooperated tacitly. Xiaodian bit the wind spirit's tail and roared, Dian. The Pig King sprayed bubble water and groaned like he was complaining, Piggy is tired. Yanran teased while fighting, you too, don't steal the show, this is my upgrade show. The four fragments gathered together, the central altar lit up, and she could touch it measuring column, the system roared, unlock element control level 1, fuse fire, water, wind and earth, control the environment, synchronize the virtual and the real, consumption. Four colors of light burst out from the palm of her hand, she tried it, and with a wave of her hand, the fireball was mixed with water and turned into a steam arrow. When it was shot, it was whirlwind, and the earth and rocks were wrapped like a meteorite. Readily. The inner monologue is brief, this skill is not only a combat tool, but also a bridge, making reality and reality seamless. But the joy came to an abrupt end when an energy wave erupted from the exit of the area, and more than a dozen figures sprang out, Jing Qi's alliance. Jing Qi's red hair was flying, her flame sword was upgraded to a fire dragon whip, and behind her were 5 elites, 2 lightning mages flashing arcs, an earth shield tank like an iron tower, 2 wind blade assassins approaching invisibly, and 3 mixed players holding laser nets and poisonous mist bombs. Jing Qi sneered, little intertwiner, the guild has formed an alliance with 3 elite groups. This time, not only will they snatch pets, but they will also dismantle your malfunctioning golden finger. The company has a bounty of 100,000, who will go first? The Thunder Mage took the lead, and the air crackled under the power grid like a spider web. Yanran's heartbeat quickened, and there were multiple crises like a tidal wave, 10 against 1, the terrain of the elemental abyss was complex, and the escape route was blocked. An inner flash, I used to shrink back when faced with pressure from my boss, but now I have to burst out with courage. She activated element control, and fire and water merged into a steam barrier to block the power grid. The rebound arc hit a mage. The guy fell to the ground screaming, "Boss, this girl's new skill is abnormal." The little electric pounced on the assassin's leg and bit the assassin's leg. The arc sizzled, the Pig King sprayed the psychedelic tank, and the rainbow smoke made the tower sway. With the help of the small starlight, the wind and earth mixed into a sandstorm, and the wind blades were engulfed and backfired on the two assassins. Jingqi roared, "Don't panic, surround me." The fire dragon whipped out, the heat wave scorched, and huge rocks fell from the top of the earth shield tank like a landslide. Yanran jumped out of the way, and with a twist of elemental control, the wind and fire turned into a tornado and a pillar of fire, rushing straight into the tank, with the blue wave protecting her unharmed. After she teleported around, the earth and water turned into a mud trap, and two mixed players fell into it, struggling and shouting, "What the hell is this? Help!" There was only one thunder mage left. Poisonous mist bombs spurted out, green smoke filled the nose. Yanran used Feng to clear mist, and shot through with a backhand steam arrow, and the system sounded, defeat X7, experience plus 500. Jing Qi's face was ashen, and she and two remaining soldiers were left in the alliance. Impossible. You leveled up too fast. Her fire dragon was fully activated, her whip was wrapped around Yanran, and the heat wave was like a sea of fire. Yanran broke through with courage, and fearlessness surged in her heart. Only when crises pile up can the real chapter be revealed. She merged all the elements, the four-color radiance exploded, turning into an elemental storm, the fire wind tore the whip, the water and earth extinguished the fire dragon, and the blue net suppressed Jingqi. The pets all come together, the little electric shock is applied, the Pig King is sealed, and the little star is locked with light. Jingqi struggled, "The guild won't let you go." With a push, she flew 10 meters away, and the system beeped wildly, "Destroy the alliance completely. Unlock the hidden achievement Elemental Reverser, all skills plus 1 level, obtain the artifact, Heart of Fusion, virtual and real penetration rate plus 30%. As the smoke and dust from the battlefield dispersed, Yanran gasped and laughed, and the pets gathered around him, licking their hands and crossing their legs. Xiaodian flicked his tail, Dian wins. The Pig King hummed, "Piggy has done a lot of work." She squatted down and teased, "Yes, you are my little heroes. But the power is a bit lonely." Reflections came to her, defeating the elite was refreshing, but it also alienated her, the circle of friends thought she was working overtime. Who understands the weight of this interweaving? Suddenly, Ichen's projection appeared, and the black-robed hunter said, "Well done, little intertwiner. Element control is the key. Your family's clues point to the core server, that AI is not only targeting your brother, but also hundreds of hard workers, including some parent-level players. Company use bugs to collect data and model the perfect elite system, trying to suppress us marginalized people forever. There is a hidden boss in the core, guarding the server door. Your fusion heart can be turned on, but be careful, Jing Qi has called the police, and the company's real-life tracking is activated." Yanran nodded, "Thanks, Ichen. You always appear at critical moments, like a hidden NPC in the game." Ichen chuckled, "National People's Congress? This is fate. Go ahead and merge the two worlds, starting from the core." The projection faded, she picked up the loot and teleported out of the area. In reality, she popped out of the capsule, and there was a sudden noise outside the window, a street riot. Fault fluctuations spread, the number of space capsule users increased, and several players lost control of their reality overflow skills. An office worker summoned a fireball to smash the car, a girl's wind blade cut the wires, passers-by screamed and fled, sirens blared, and smoke and fire confused the streets, like a fragment of the doomsday. Yanran's heart sank. This is the result of intertwining, and social chaos seeps out of the game. She rushed out of the building. The streets were slippery after the rain, and the air was filled with a burning smell. The crowd pushed, and an out-of-control player, whose ID looked like a low-level one, summoned an earth wall to block the road, causing the truck to lose control and crash into a roadside vendor. Screams spread, "Monster! The superpower is coming!" Yanran activated the element control, softened the sand wall to block the truck, and the blue net protected the vendors. Water and fire merged into mist, extinguishing the fireball, and the wind blade was reversed by her wind whirl, pointing towards the sky. The out-of-control player was stunned. Who are you? Don't panic, I'm here to help. Yanran approached, flashing his fusion heart, stabilizing his energy wave. Take a deep breath, put away your skills. This is not a game, this is reality. The player gasped, and the earth wall collapsed. The passers-by around him turned from fear to wonder, and someone applauded. Thank you. You are a hero. The police arrived and sealed off the scene, but their eyes were no longer hostile, but grateful. Yanran's inner transformation, from user to influencer, this power is no longer an escape, but a bridge. She used to hide in the cabin to escape from the world, but now, she merges with the world and becomes less lonely. She helped evacuate and touched a child's head. It's okay, Auntie has magic. The child laughed, and neighbor Aunt Wang squeezed out from the crowd. Yanran, it's you again. The neighborhood has spread the word. The riot was resolved, the sunset stretched its shadow, and Yanran returned to the house. A message from Dawn popped up. The stability module is perfect, and the company's tracking signal has been detected to be weakened. The core coordinates have been updated. Are you ready to climax? She smiled and got back into the cabin. The elemental storm danced at the fingertips, and the image of Xiao Dian came to mind. Dian, the next battle will be even more fierce. The core server, the family is waiting. The wave of adventure is coming. Yanran took a deep breath. The lining of the helmet gently fit against her skin, and the elemental storm danced like living fire on her fingertips. She murmured, Core server, come on. The system buzzed, the deep passage is stable, and the element control is synchronized. Enter the core of the hub. Her vision flashed, and she had teleported to a huge floating platform, surrounded by an endless river of data. The blue light belt was winding like a river, and it brought an electric numbness when touched. In the distance, the core tower stood like the backbone of a giant beast. The top of the tower was pulsating with red light. The air was filled with the smell of burning metal and plasma. The little lightning roared at her feet. The pig king hummed and arched the ground. The little star flapped its wings and spread starlight, as if to light the way forward for her. Friends, this is the heart. Yanran squatted down and touched Xiaodian's fur. The electric arc jumped more fiercely between her paws. Don't be impatient. Boss is not a street gangster. Xiaodian flicked his tail as if to respond. Dian protects the master. The pig king sprayed a rainbow bubble. The bubbles floated up to reflect the shadow of the tower, and she couldn't help but laugh. Pig king, are you celebrating or are you afraid? Hold on, let's go together. This kind of interaction made her feel that she was not alone. From a lonely player in a rental house to an adventurer in a group, this transition was as warm as blue light. At the edge of the platform, the portal buzzed open, and a holographic projection emerged. Yichen, black robe hunting in the data stream. Little intertwiner, you came at the right time. The guardian of the core tower is the data guard, the incarnation of AI, which can control virtual elements. Its weakness is the energy core. But the company has noticed your infiltration, and Jingqi may have a backup plan. His voice was low, and his eyes were as sharp as knives. I will pass you the coordinates. Remember, the fusion heart is the key. Go ahead, I will support you from behind. Yanran nodded. Thank you, Yichen. You are always like an invisible backing, and I owe you a real hot pot. Yichen chuckled. Hot pot. Let's talk about it while we're still alive. The projection faded, she mounted the pig king, jumped in space and flashed, and rushed into the tower with her pet. The first floor is a data maze. The walls flow like a liquid screen, displaying fragments of player data. The IDs of the missing persons flash, including the younger brother's, Shadow Blade Kid. Her heart tightened, and with a wave of elemental control, the fire wind turned into a tornado and tore open the wall, revealing the hidden passage. "Brother, wait for me." The inner monologue is brief, feeling of powerlessness. That's the past. Now, I control the pace. A battle breaks out in the middle of the tower, and the data guard appears, a giant mechanical figure, 10 meters tall, surrounded by vortexes of elements. Its red eyes scan like thunder, the ground trembles, and the air twists into a rain of wind blades. "Intruder, terminate data extraction." Its voice was mechanically cold, and fireballs, water arrows, soil spikes, and wind blades were fired. Heat waves, moisture, vibrations, and roars intertwined into a doomsday storm. Yen then retreated, the blue net shield blocked the first wave, buzzed, the small electric arc counterattacked, the Pig King bubbled the psychedelic wind blade, and the small star light strengthened the barrier. "Teamwork," she shouted, leaping to the flank with a space jump, and merging elemental manipulations. Fire and water turned into steam arrows, shooting through earth thorns, wind and earth turned into sandstorms, wrapping the guard's legs and making him stagger. The guards roared, the energy core flashed red, and summoned the Data Ghost army. Shadows came like a tide, and the tentacles burned the skin with plasma. Yanran felt the pressure was like a mountain, and the cracks in the shield were spreading. "You can't fight hard, you have to explode." She activated the fusion heart, the four-color elements gathered in the palm of her hand, the ripples in space spread, and the blue light shield turned into a long blade, virtual and real fusion slash. With a sword swing, the virtual data stream intertwined with the overflowing energy of reality. The cut marks tore through the air, like the Milky Way pouring out. The feeling of crushing was overwhelming. The ghost army was wiped out, and the core of the guard's chest cracked. The system roared, "Heavy hit. Boss's blood volume -50%, skill unlocked, virtual and real fusion /LV1, multi-element explosion, the boundary between virtual and real is blurred, and the damage is doubled." But the guard did not fall, and the backlash energy waves sucked in like a black hole. Her body froze, and her vision overlapped. The game center and the real rental house were superimposed, and suddenly clouds gathered outside the window and thunder rolled. Here comes the twist, reality intervenes. The phone buzzed, and Chen Shi's voice rushed, "Yanran, a large-scale failure wave. Game elements invaded the city, and your battle fluctuations spread. Data ghosts appeared on the streets, players' skills were out of control, and the police blocked the area. I was repairing the server, but the company hackers counterattacked, and that woman Jing Qi appeared in reality and led people to block the downstairs of your house." Yanran's heart sank, and the aftermath of the fusion of reality and reality made her half immersed in reality. Outside the rental house, she saw Jing Qi dressed in black, carrying two strong men and a portable interferometer, with red hair flying in the rain. "Little bug, if you can't win in the game, just solve it in reality." Jingqi sneered, the interferometer buzzed, and shot out an energy net, heading straight for the space capsule, trying to cut off her connection. The strong man smashed the door, sawdust flew, and the rain hit the window like a drum beat. "You want to cut off my retreat?" "Dreaming." Yanran yelled in the game, fusion/2 consecutive shots, the blue and silver sword light pierced the guard core, reality overflowed and the energy network bounced away. Jingqi staggered back. "What? The skill penetrates here." Her heart was churning. From the separated world to the initial fusion, this power is no longer a malfunction, but the blade of her destiny. The powerlessness of the past, the humiliation of working overtime, the fear of losing contact with family members, disappeared like smoke. She's the adventurer and takes charge. At the climax of the battle, the guard summons his ultimate form, an elemental storm sweeps through the tower, the platform collapses, and data flows like a flood. Yanran felt exhausted, the pets were scarred, Little Electric's legs were weak, King Pig's air bag was deflated, and Little Star's wings were dim. "Hold on." Suddenly, Yichen's projection exploded, and the black robe tore. He stretched out his palm, and golden light poured into her fusion heart. Take it, part of my power, the source of the ranger, sacrifice your level for your burst. The golden light was like fire, blending into the elements. Yanran felt her power surge, and her heart warmed. Yichen, you, fool. Yichen's figure was blurred. It's worth it, overturn the balance, start from here. Go save them. She shouted, and the real and virtual merged into full force. Fire, wind, earth, water, gold and light intertwined, turning into a huge wave of sword light, cutting through the guard's body, crushing as easily as a nuclear explosion. The data fragments in the tower were scattered, and the boss screamed and disintegrated. System, invasion, company order. A picture emerged from the fragments, the company's high-level meeting. The projection showed that the failure was not an accident, but a balance plan, using the space capsule to control the player's consciousness, extracting the data of workers to strengthen elite privileges, and the missing people were locked into data batteries, to maintain the layering of reality and reality. The image of his younger brother flashed up, and he was trapped by the AI core, muttering, "Sister, conspiracy." The tip of the iceberg was revealed, and Yanran was furious. Company, you control us like chess pieces? Turn 2. The truth is like an electric shock, and determination is strengthened. She clenched her fist, and the system rang, boss defeated. The skill tree is fully unlocked, all levels are +2, and the title of Balance Destroyer is obtained. The virtual and real penetration rate is 100% and can actively control intertwined events. Power poured in, and she felt that the world was seamless. The central door of the game was open, and her brother's signal was clear. But the real crisis remains unresolved. Urban invasions intensify, data ghosts roam the streets like ghosts, fireballs smash into cars, wind blades cut wires, screams are everywhere, and live TV broadcasts are chaotic. Supernatural events. Space capsule users are out of control. Chenxi's communication cut in. Yanran, I have repaired 80% of the fluctuations, but Jingqi's interferometer is connected to the company's mainframe and is trying to block the city's connection. There are elemental monsters on the streets, and the police can't handle them. You teleport back in reality, helper. Yanran nodded. Space jumped to fuse the elements, and flashed out of the cabin. The streets in the rain were like battlefields, ghosts pounced on passers-by, a mother hugged her child and retreated. Jingqi directed a strong man to shoot a net at the entrance of the alley. Jingqi, you lost in the game, but you also want to win in reality? Yanran teleported and appeared, with a flash of blue-silver sword light, cutting off the interference device, and the energy exploded like fireworks. Jingqi stared. You unlocked everything. The strong man rushed towards him. She waved her elemental storm and turned the earth into a lava trap, trapping them. She quickly counterattacked and made passers-by exclaim, "Hero!" That's Yanran. Xiao Dian's arc phantom sprang out, assisting in repelling the ghost, Pig King's bubble reality projection psychedelic monster, and the small star light fluctuated steadily. Jingqi retreated, her face pale. The company will not let you go. Balance is order. Yanran sneered. Fusion Zhan Yuguang suppressed her order. Manipulate our escape from reality. Get out. With a push, Jingqi rolled into the rain, boarded the escape car, and left in embarrassment. Chen Shi arrived, carrying a repair kit, her hair wet from the rain. Great job. The fluctuations have stabilized and the city has recovered. But the company's mainframe alarms are all on, and your title made them panic. Yanran gasped and looked at the dissipating chaos on the street. The crowd gathered around and someone handed him a hot drink. Thank you, girl. Aunt Wang squeezed out from the neighbors and took her hand. I saved everyone again. You are our guardian star. The inner growth is like a tide, from a powerless office worker to an adventurer who controls his destiny. This fusion is not a curse, but a liberation. The image of her brother was still in her mind, so she patted Chen Shi on the shoulder. Thanks, buddy. Yichen sacrificed his strength, we have to work harder. The main plot is only halfway, and the balance must be completely overturned. Chensi nodded with firm eyes. Join hands. The core door is open, and the family is waiting. The rain stopped, the stars fell on the street, and the illusion of looking back at the tower's shadow, the wave of adventure is surging. Yanran stood on the street after the rain, and the starlight fell like fine blue crystals, reflecting the faces of passers-by who were gradually calming down. The afterimages of the data ghosts were still slightly distorted in the air, like ghosts leaking from game bugs, but her elemental storm had suppressed them. She put away the toolbox, wiped the rain from her forehead, and gasped, "This wave has stabilized, Yanran. The company's mainframe has been short-circuited for half an hour, and they have to work for a while." "But your brother's signal." "The core door has opened, and there are new clues in the deep high-level area Phantom Throne, pointing to the hidden files of the company's top executives." She nodded, the waves in her heart still surging. The battle just now, from the virtual slashing in the tower to the manipulation of elements on the real street, made her feel that the world was no longer two puzzle pieces, but a giant network integrated into one. The image of her brother, the pale face flickering among the fragments of data, scorched her resolve like fire. "Let's go, Chensi. Go home to repair the cabin. I want to enter the high-end area. I can't keep him waiting for too long." An inner monologue surged. "From personal salvation to the protection of this street, this power is a responsibility, not a toy. But will using it to subvert a company destroy more innocent people? The shadow of morality is like the clouds in the hidden mist valley, lingering around." In the rental house, She connected to the diagnostic device, and the data jumped on the screen. The stable module is upgraded, and the penetration of reality is 100%. However, the energy in the advanced area is strong, and the backlash of reality will be amplified. "Here is a new toy for you, a cross-world communicator." He handed over a ring-shaped device, silver light flashing. "Put it on, and the game can directly connect to reality, transmit coordinates and fluctuation data in real time. It is like a built-in plug-in, specially designed for intertwiners like you." Yanran put on the ring and felt a chill rush into her wrist. "Thanks, buddy. Your engineer brain can always turn crises into weapons." She smiled, worry flashed in his eyes. "Be careful, the high-end area is a forbidden area for elites. Jingqi's alliance can be laid out." "Go ahead, I'll monitor the remaining waves on the streets and make sure the city is not in chaos." She got into the space capsule, buckled her helmet, and the system voice was gentle but urgent. "Unlock the advanced area and enter the Phantom Throne. The title of Balance Destroyer is activated, and the experience bonus is 50%. Her vision bloomed, and she was already standing on the edge of the throne, a suspended palace complex. The walls reflected countless stars like mirrors, and the air was filled with phantom particles, which caused a hallucinatory sting when they touched the skin. Surrounded by tall towers, the shadows of legendary monsters hovered on the top of the towers, and the core of the throne in the distance was faintly pulsing with red light. Little Electric flapped its tail excitedly, and the electric arc illuminated the mirror wall. King Pig hummed and hummed, its air sacs inflated like balloons. Little Star flapped its wings, and the starlight fell like road signs. "Friends, this is a kingdom-level map," Yanran whispered. "The clues are deep in the throne. My brother's data fragments point to high-level files. Follow me." She jumped forward in space, and the mirror wall reflected countless images of herself, each holding a blue and silver sword, like a legion. But the high-level area was unforgiving, and a group of phantom guards sprang out, transparent humanoids, eyes flashing with data codes, holding void blades, cutting the air with a hissing sound. With a wave of Yanran's element control, the fire wind turned into a tornado and tore apart the image, but the guard was reborn and copied infinitely. "Damn it, mirror bug." She teleported to dodge, and the blade grazed her shoulder, and the pain was as hot as reality. A small electric arc wraps around one, the Pig King sprays psychedelic bubbles, the rainbow smoke distorts the image, and the little star lights lock on the true body. During the battle, she picked up a mirror fragment, and the system prompted, "Detect traces of the legendary monster, the king of mirror spirits. Taming can unlock the ultimate skill." An inner conflict emerged. Taming this thing means controlling more powerful phantom power, but if reality overflows, will it create more malfunction victims? Like those out-of-control players on the street, they were originally hard workers, but they became monsters because of company bugs. She gritted her teeth. For my brother, for everyone, I have to try. Following the guidance of the fragment, she went deep into the side hall of the throne, and a giant mirror spirit beast appeared. Its body was like Mercury, its eyes were countless mirrors, phantom legions were born when its wings flapped, and the air twisted into a maze. The monster roared, and the phantom army rushed towards her like a tide. Yanran felt that her vision was split, one was struggling in the sea of fire, and the other was falling endlessly. The moral voice echoed in my head, will this power make me become a manipulator like the company? But her brother's cry for help was like an anchor, steadying her. She shouted, partner, come on. The small electric shock shocked the mirror wings, the pig king sealed the phantom, and the little star light broke the phantom. Yanran's fusion heart was fully opened, and the fusion of reality and reality turned into a mirror light sword, slashing through the maze and hitting the beast's core. The monster wailed, and the mirror cracked, projecting her inner thoughts, herself who was unable to go to work, the hero who saved people on the street, and her separated family. Tame me. The beast's voice echoed, she stretched out her hand, and the blue light merged into the mirror core, taming successful. Obtained the legendary pet, King of Mirror Spirits, which can control phantom projections and assist in combat. The mirror spirit shrank into a pendant and hung around her neck, and power poured in. The ultimate skill, world reconstruction, was unlocked, reshaping the boundary between reality and reality, partially rewriting the environment and events. The consumption was extremely high, and the reality and reality were 100% synchronized. She tried it, and the mirror wall in the corner of the throne was restructured into a data door, revealing the file, the company's top E-class plan, which used AI to extract the consciousness of workers and model an elite immortality system. The younger brother is locked as a key battery. Not only him, there are thousands of victims, including parent-level players. Yanran's heart was as sharp as a knife. High-level officials, do you think of us as fuel? The motivation was strengthened. It was no longer just to save the family, but to fight for all the toilers. She transforms from a personal hero to a public guardian, and her inner premonition is the outline of a legend, merging two worlds to bring about a new balance. The moment he logged out, a wave of reality struck. On the edge of the city, a wave of malfunctions broke out in an old warehouse area. News feed. Dozens of space capsule users are out of control, data ghosts invade reality, and groups of victims, mostly toilers like her, are trapped in a maze of phantoms, and screams echo in the streets. Yanran teleported out of the cabin, the interworld communicator buzzed, and Chenxi's voice was urgent, Yanran. There is a large-scale overflow in the warehouse area. Can your mirror spirit be reconstructed? The police blocked it, and I opened the back door, but there were too many people. She rushed to the scene. The air was sticky after the rain, and the security cordon at the warehouse entrance was raised. The ghosts inside were like ghosts, and the toilers, office workers, single mothers, retired people, were wandering in the maze of reality and reality, with fear etched on their faces. Help! I can't get out! A mother cried while hugging her child. Yanran activates the reconstruction of the world, the mirror spirit pendant flashes, she waves her hand, reshaping the boundary, the phantom wall collapses, the data flow reverses into a blue light bridge, pulling the victim out of the maze. The feeling of refreshment was overwhelming, figures regained their freedom, children laughed, and old people wiped away tears. Are you a god? Someone asked. She shook her head, no, I am Yanran. I climbed out of the game just like you. The turning moment, from a little street hero to a guardian who saves the group, she felt her inner transformation. A legend is not a one-person show, but a fire that ignites everyone. The younger brother's motive is even more intense, to save him is to save these countless shadows. But the joy was short-lived, the communicator exploded, and Ichen's projection cut in, be careful. Jingqi has been exposed. She is the illegitimate daughter of the company's top executives, a careerist, and wants to monopolize control of the E-Class plan. Her alliance, the elites of the 3 major guilds, launched a citywide siege. The throne of the high-end area has been occupied by her, trying to block your skills tree. As soon as he finished speaking, the engine roared outside the reality warehouse. Jingqi's convoy rushed over. More than 20 elite players got out of the car, holding reality interferers and elemental weapons. Jingqi, with flying red hair, sneered, "Little bug, have you had enough of saving people? The company's bounty is doubled, your golden finger is mine. Alliance, go ahead, annihilate them all." A large-scale encirclement and suppression broke out. Thunder grids covered the sky, fire dragons burned the ground, earth walls blocked roads, and wind blades were like rain. The laborers screamed and retreated, but the police fired their shots to no avail. Yanran's heart sank. Crisis is like a landslide, this is the revenge of naked ambition. Turn 2 comes, her alliance fights back. Chenxi Communication, I hacked her interferometer and gave you a backdoor. Use the mirror spirit to project my repair wave, innovative tactics, dual virtual and real hacking. Yichen projection strengthened, I reveal my identity, a former senior engineer of the company, who was kicked out and became a mole. Your reconstruction can borrow my power, innovative fusion, mirror shadow army plus my ranger source. Yanran nodded, and her level improved, from defense to innovation and leadership. The world reconstruction is fully activated, and the mirror spirit projects Yichen's Silver Whip Legion and Chenxi's data virus, and the boundary between reality and reality is blurred. The elemental attacks of the game elite are reflected by the mirror image, the lightning grid backfires the mage, and the fire dragon immolates the tank. A refreshing slap in the face climax, she teleported through the earth wall, merged with the mirror light storm, and hit Jingqi's core directly. Ambition. Your balance is a cage. Jingqi glared, impossible, the alliance will be completely destroyed. Elites fell down one by one, screams echoed, and the system rang in the reality projection, defeat the alliance, exploding experience, upgraded title, legendary guardian. The workers turned from fear to cheers, and some people joined the battle circle, using primary overflow skills to assist. Jingqi retreated in embarrassment, her red hair messy. This is not the end. The top management will. She boarded the car and fled, followed by the remaining soldiers of the convoy. Yanran gasped, and her inner climax was like a brainless victory. Crisis was transformed into innovation, and her realm jumped, making her feel invincible. Yichen's projection faded away, good job. The core files of the E-Class plan are on top of the throne, and your brother is there. Go ahead and reveal everything. Morning communications, the city is stable, and the victim group regards you as an idol. The next wave, the climax is coming. Yanran looked at the night sky, the stars were brighter. Resolving moral conflicts, when power is used in the right place, it is liberation. Family, laborers, she will merge worlds toward final revelation. The waves are rolling, and the throne awaits. Yanran took a deep breath of the night breeze, and the starlight shone on the ruins of the warehouse area, like countless blue crystals whispering. The cheers of the workers were still echoing in her ears, and someone handed her hot coffee. The heat on the rim of the cup blurred her vision. Girl, you are our savior, a middle-aged office worker said while wiping away tears. I used to think that the gaming elite were superior, and we, the toilers in crowded cabins, could only escape. Now, you have proved that we can also make a comeback. She smiled, and the shadow in her heart gradually dissipated. Social stratification? It was just the company's cage. She was no longer a lone wolf chasing clues, but an executor who took the initiative to smash it. Jingqi's car taillights faded away in the night, but the call of the throne came like a tide. Go home, she said to Qin Shi, the orgasm is not over yet. In the rental house, Qin Shi has connected to the space capsule, and the intrusion code is jumping on the screen. The files on the top of the throne are heavily encrypted. I opened the back door, but the middle-level guards are AI elites who specialize in preventing intertwiners. Your mirror spirit can project my virus, try it. Yanran nodded, put on the ring, and got into the cabin. The helmet was buckled on, and the system buzzed. The top of the phantom throne is unlocked, and the balance destroyer is activated. Enter the company's virtual core. Her vision was distorted, and she teleported to the top of the throne, a pulsating data throne. The surrounding mirror walls flowed like living things, reflecting the faces of countless missing persons. The air was filled with the burning smell of plasma. Little lightning growled and protected in front of him, Pig King hummed and sprayed bubbles in warning, Little Star flapped its wings and spread starlight, and the mirror spirit pendant was slightly hot. Middle-level guard, come on. Yanran murmured, jumping forward in space. The inside of the throne is like a maze, and the walls are covered with data vines, entangled like tentacles, carrying cold current. With a wave of her element control, the fire and wind turned into a tornado and tore apart the vines. The fragments fell like rain, and the system sounded, experience plus 100. But the guards appeared, 3 middle-level AI humanoids, shaped like iron towers, surrounded by ripples of time and space. Their eyes flashed with red codes. They held a void chain, swinging the space and time air, and their footsteps made a low buzz on the ground. Intruders, terminate the E-class plan interference. Their voices overlapped like a chorus, the chains swung together, and time and space twisted into a black hole, sucking her body, causing her vision to overlap. The inside of the game tower and the real streets were superimposed. Yanran's heartbeat accelerated, and the blue net shield unfolded to block the first wave, but the ripples backfired and made her arms numb. A small electric arc wraps around a guard and makes a sizzling sound, the Pig King bubbles a psychedelic chain, the rainbow smoke deflects the ripples, the small star light locks on the weak point, and the mirror spirit projects a phantom clone to confuse the enemy. Team up, she yelled, merging reality and reality to slash the mirror lightsaber straight into the chest core of a guard. The sword light tore through the red code, and the guard whined and collapsed. Data, overflow. The system rang wildly, defeat the middle guard X1, upgrade the skill tree. Unlock the time and space distortion LV1, manipulate local time and space, freeze or accelerate events, synchronize the virtual and the real, high consumption. Power surged in, and she felt time winding around her palms like threads. With a flash of trial, ripples appeared in front of his palm, and the chain of the second guard froze in mid-air, like a bug in amber. Readily. She teleported forward, and with a push from the elemental storm, the guard shattered into data dust. Xiaodian swung her tail excitedly, Dian wins. The Pig King hummed and crossed his legs to praise, and she touched their heads, good job, now, real-life application. The cross-world communicator buzzed, and Qinshi's voice cut in, Yanran, Jingqi's conspiracy has moved. She sneaked into the company's real-life server building with her remnants, trying to restart the E-class plan and block all connections for malfunctioners. There is her fleet on the edge of the city, ready to hack the worker cabin network. Split vision. In the game, the last guard roared, summoning a space-time storm, and the platform inside the tower collapsed. In reality, Jingqi's image was projected, a red-haired woman in the server room, holding a terminal, inputting codes, surrounded by strong men guarding the door, and the screen flashed a red alert. Little bug, I have monitored your upgrade. But the reality is my territory. Jingqi sneered, the terminal buzzed, the city space capsule began to flash, and the workers screamed, the connection is broken, the bug cycle restarts. Here comes the turning point. Yanran's heart sank. She would no longer passively pursue, she would take the initiative to destroy this hierarchical cage. Social prejudice is like a shackle. In the past, she thought that the elite were unattainable and the toilers were always at the bottom. Now, this power allowed her to see the truth clearly, it was all an illusion controlled by the company. She shouted, Jingqi, your ambition is over. The distortion of time and space was fully opened, and ripples overflowed from the game tower, crossing the boundary between reality, and hitting the real server room. Time is frozen, Jingqi's hand is frozen on the terminal, the strong man's gun is frozen, and raindrops hover in the air like a bead curtain. The exhilarating crushing feeling was overwhelming, and she felt that she was the enforcer of justice, transforming from an evader to a subversive. An inner monologue arose: prejudice? Fuck it. Even those who work hard can shine. I want to smash this balance and let everyone integrate into the world equally. But the freeze only lasted for 10 seconds. Jingqi broke free, her face livid. Time and space skills. Impossible. She fought back, firing energy pulses from the terminal in an attempt to backfire Yanran's connection. In the game, the guards took advantage of the situation to counterattack. A space-time storm swept across, and the platform shattered like glass. Yanran gritted her teeth, and the mirror spirit projected the morning light's virus. The data rushed into the guard core like a poisonous snake. The guard trembled and disintegrated. System, invasion. The system rang: destroy all the middle-level guards. Expand experience, time and space distortion L2 is unlocked, the range is expanded, and the reality freeze time plus 20 seconds. Climax after climax, the virtual boss becomes a reality, the guard core overflows and turns into a semi-physical behemoth with the size of a mechanical dragon. It breaks through the boundary from the game tower and lands directly in the real server building. The dragon's shadow hovered in the night sky, its scales flashed with red codes, its roar shook the earth, its energy claws grabbed Jingqi's terminal, and fragments flew everywhere. The city's alarm is blaring, the workers' cabin network is shaking, and the ghost of bugs is once again roaming the streets. Yanran teleported out of the cabin and ran to the building in the rain. The cross-world communicator connected to Yi Chen, little interconnector, just in time. I am a former engineer of the company. Final information: the E-class core is at the bottom of the throne. Your family is not a single battery, but the center of the bug cycle. They are trapped in repeated simulations, extracting emotional data to strengthen the AI. Emotion is a weakness, use your transformation to activate the amplification. Yi Chen's projection emerged, and the black robe blurred in the rain. Go to the bottom of the throne and break the cycle. I teach the hidden instructions: emotional resonance, unlock the psychic amplification skill, and let the bug victims awaken. The data flow poured into Yanran's mind, and she felt like her heart was burning. In reality, she rushed into the building, and Jingqi's strong man rushed towards her, the laser gun flashing red. Get away! Yanran's time and space twisted and flashed, freezing the three of them. The blue and silver sword light cut off the barrel of the gun, and she counterattacked so quickly that the strong man fell to the ground with a stare. Jingqi turned around, the flame whip whipped out, and the heat wave burned the rain vapor. Do you think you will win by upgrading? The top executive of the company is my father, and I am the future master. As the confrontation deepened, her red hair flew, and her eyes were burning with ambition. Yanran sneered: Master. Your balance is to enslave the toilers. Look at this. She activated the spiritual amplification, and emotions poured out like a tide: longing for her family, anger against prejudice, sympathy for the toilers, turning into blue light waves and sweeping over Jingqi. Jingqi staggered, hallucinations struck, she saw herself falling from an elite to a twaller, working overtime until she collapsed, and her family was devoured by bugs. No. This is not me. Jingqi screamed, her whip deflecting. Turning point 2, the emotional impact is like a lightning strike. Yanran's inner tenacity breaks through, and the powerlessness in the past, the fear of losing contact with her younger brother, the lack of news from her parents, turns into a source of strength. The system sounded: emotional amplification unlocks LV1, strengthens the will of allies, weakens the enemy's defenses, and synchronizes the virtual and the real. The climax of the boss dragon's reality: the mechanical dragon's claws grab the building, the red code spreads like a virus, and the screams of the workers echo in the cabin. Chensi communication: Yanran, I have invaded the system. The virus is injected into the dragon's core, but I need you to hit it realistically. She teleported onto the dragon's back, the rain hit the scales with a snapping sound, the small electric arc assisted, the pig king bubbled the red code, and the little star's light was stable. Jingqi rushed towards him, flames whipped around the dragon's tail, this dragon is mine. Yanran's mind surged, Jingqi's defenses collapsed, and her illusion of ambition made her confused. Dad, help me. Yanran's time and space distorted and froze the dragon's claws, fusion slashed straight to the core, blue light exploded, the dragon's wail shattered into data rain, a refreshing victory like a nuclear explosion, the toilers around him awakened, primary skills overflowed with assistance, and fireballs counterattacked the remaining soldiers. Jingqi knelt down, her red hair soaked. You won this round. But the higher-ups won't. Yanran approached, and the blue light touched her shoulder lightly. Wake up, Jingqi. Elites work without stratification, and the company has lied to all of us. Join me and break the E-class. Jingqi hesitated, her eyes wavered, but the embers of ambition flickered. No way. I have to prove myself. She dropped the smoke bomb and escaped in a hurry, leaving the terminal fragments behind. Yanran picked it up, and the data showed the location of her family, the bug loop at the bottom of the throne. Chenxi arrived and gasped, the system invasion is successful and the city is stable. But the cycle is an emotional trap, and your increase is the key. Yichen's projection faded. Go, little intertwiner. Your family is waiting for you, subversion starts from the heart. Yanran returned to the cabin, her vision flashed back to the bottom of the throne, and blue light danced in her palms. Emotional tenacity is as endless as the stars. The aftermath of the climax has not yet dissipated, and the conspiracy below is pulsating and waiting. Yanran felt the blue light pulsating in her palms like a living thing, like a younger brother's call coming out of nothingness. She took a deep breath. The gel pad of the space capsule trembled slightly, and the system voice sounded, the bottom floor of the throne is unlocked, and the emotional amplification is synchronized. Enter the core of the E-class plan. Her vision flashed, and she had teleported deep into the throne, under a huge data dome. The walls were beating like a heart, and red veins covered every inch. The air was filled with the smell of hot plasma, mixed with faint cries, that was the echo of the missing players. Little lightning roared at her feet, and Ark's tail flicked loudly, King Pig hummed, his air sac inflated like an angry balloon, Little Star flapped its wings and shed starlight, and the mirror spirit pendant was as hot as a warning. Is this the core? It feels like entering the head of the company boss. Yanran murmured to herself and touched Xiaodian's head. Friends, stay still. My brother's signal is here. Smell this smell, plasma and tears, it's disgusting. Xiaodian grunted, as if he agreed, and the Pig King sprayed a rainbow bubble. When the bubble exploded, it gave off a fruity fragrance, which instantly relieved the stuffiness. She couldn't help laughing. Pig King, are you having a party? Okay, give us some buffs. In the center of the dome, a red light door opened, and Jingqi's projection emerged, not the red-haired queen in the game, but the ultimate realistic form. She was wearing the company's black technology armor, with fire dragons and data links wrapped around her body, her eyes flashed with red codes, and countless player data bubbles floated behind her, like an enslaved balloon army. Little intertwined insect, are you chasing me here? Do you think that defeating my alliance will win? Jingqi's voice was distorted like a chorus, with a mechanical echo. Dad's E-class plan is a perfect balance. Laborers like you should always be a data battery for elites like me to live forever. Come, try my ultimate form, the Lord of Slavery. The turning point was like a lightning strike. Jingqi's figure expanded, the armor merged with the data link, and turned into a fiery red beast, shaped like a mechanical spider, with 8 legs that roared on the ground, the red-coated crown on top of its head pulsed, and the data bubble exploded into an elemental storm. Fire rained down, wind blades were like knives, earth thorns rushed to the ground, and water arrows were like floods. The air was instantly hot and twisted, and Yanran felt as if her skin was being pricked by needles. Xiaodian screamed and jumped towards him, but was bounced away by the wind blade. King Pig's air bag deflated, and he grunted like he was complaining, Piggy won't play anymore. Xiaoxing's starlight barrier barely blocked a wave, but cracks spread. Damn it, this threat is worse than the boss working overtime. Yen then retreated, her heart beating like a drum. But the fears of the past, the powerlessness of losing contact with her brother, the humiliation of the workplace, surged up like a tide. She clenched her fists and her inner monologue flashed. What are you afraid of? From being an escapee in a rental house to being a guardian on the streets, I transformed them along the way. Invincible confidence burst out like a blue light, and she shouted, Jingqi, your slave. Dreaming. The toilers are not batteries, we are the fire. The cross-world communicator buzzed, and Qinshi's voice cut in, Yanran, the virus is in place. Yichen's ranger source is injected, integrating all skills ultimate move time. Yanran nodded, and her heart of fusion was fully opened, element manipulation plus time and space distortion plus virtual and real fusion / plus mirror spirit projection plus spiritual amplification plus emotional resonance, gathering into a ball of 5-color rippled light in the palm of her hand. The climax of humor is here, skills are out of control. The light ball first sprayed out a funny rainbow fireball, hitting Jingqi's leg. The fire dragon actually burped and blew out bubbles of smoke, making the giant beast's 8 legs slippery. Ha, what is this? Has your slave form turned into a comedy? Yanran laughed out loud, Xiaodian chased the bubbles and bit them, and the pig king arched his legs in excitement, Piggy wins. Jingqi roared, asshole. Is this a bug? But Yanran remained steady, feeling confident as a mountain, fear? Turn it into a joke, this is invincible. The ultimate move is launched, World Reconstruction Emotional Galaxy. The ball of light explodes, and the boundary between reality and reality is completely blurred, the game dome is superimposed on the real city, and the blue and silver sword light turns into a river of stars flowing, enveloping the elemental storm. Fire and wind turn into a tornado and burn the data link, water, earth and mud traps trip spider legs, time and space ripples freeze the red-coated crown. Mirror spirits project countless phantom legions of toilers, psychic amplification amplifies their will, data bubbles reverse into blue light bubbles, and when exploded, players are released to scream into war cries. The exhilarating crushing feeling was like a nuclear explosion. Jingqi's giant beast form staggered back, stepping on its 8 legs. The fire rain was extinguished by the galaxy, and the wind blade turned back on itself. It's impossible. My dad's plan, elite immortality. Jingqi's voice trembled, changing from threatening the queen to panicking clown. Yanran teleported forward, sword light piercing the crown, your full picture. The company uses glitches to enslave us, the space capsule is not an escape, but a cage. Extract the data of workers, model AI immortality, let the elite control the real economy, and lose players to become batteries to maintain the illusion of stratification. Brother, father, mother, everyone, are victims. The truth was revealed like an electric shock. Jingqi's armor cracked, the red code disintegrated, and company files appeared on the projection, high-level meeting scenes. The bosses joked that, the dreams of toiling ghosts are our fuel, and the bug was not an accident, but the core of the plan. The second turning point comes, the sublimation of courage, and Yanran feels like a star blooming in her heart, from a girl who is afraid of the truth, to a brave man who faces and smashes it. This growth process is like a flashback, the first battle in Nova Ruins, the taming of the hidden Mist Valley, the rescue on the street, the protection of the warehouse, every step turns weakness into strength. She laughed, Jingqi, do you see clearly? We, the toilers, can overturn your balance. In the final blow, the rivers of stars converged into a giant blade, cutting through the core of the giant beast. Jingqi wailed, the form disintegrated into data fragments, and the system roared, defeat the ultimate form. The core of the E-level plan collapsed, and obtained the ultimate artifact, source of freedom, complete fusion of reality and reality, control global borders, and unlock the ultimate move without consumption. The artifact turned into a blue crystal and was embedded in her forehead. Power poured in like a tide. She felt that the world was seamless, and her past fears were transformed into flames of confidence. The afterimage of Jingqi knelt down, her red hair scattered. You won. But the senior management still has the final boss, the AI master is waiting in the Abyss server. Her figure faded away, leaving behind a clue chip, the location of her family. Her younger brother and parents were locked in the loop of the final boss. The AI Master is the company's ultimate weapon, integrating all bugs and preparing for global slavery. The dome shook, and the boundaries began to collapse. Game data overflowed into reality like a flood, virtual rifts opened in the city sky, and the cabins of workers hummed out of control. Yanran's heart tightened. No, the world borders are going to be chaotic. The cross-world communicator exploded, and the voices of Chen Shi and Yi Chen overlapped. We are here. In reality, Chen Shi rushed into the rental house with an upgrade toolbox and connected to the global server. In the game, Yi Chen's projection appeared, hunting in black robes, holding a source of golden light. Joined forces are stable. Yi Chen shouted. The ranger source was injected into the source of freedom, and the virus of dawn spread out like a net. Yanran waved his big move, and the blue crystal light spread, reconstructing the boundaries. The cracks healed, the data flood turned into a blue light rain, watering the cabins of the workers, allowing them to awaken their primary skills without losing control. Chenxi, your virus is like caffeine, refreshing but not harmful to the body. Yanran said with a smile, feeling warm in her heart. From working alone to working as a team, she has no regrets about her growth. Yi Chen nodded. Little intertwiner, your confidence has infected us. The border is stable, but the final boss is in the abyss, the AI Master, hiding clues about your whole family. Go ahead, let's guard the rear. Morning news, the city player group is mobilizing and regards you as a leader. Prepare for the final conflict, Yanran. Yanran held the blue crystal tightly and looked towards the entrance of the abyss, where the red light pulsed like a heartbeat. Little Electric rubbed his legs, King Pig hummed, Little Star flapped its wings, and Mirror Spirit hummed. She took a deep breath and reflected on the journey. From the panic of malfunction to the invincible galaxy, the road was tortuous but shining. Family, wait for me. The climax finally came. Yanran stepped into the entrance of the abyss, and the red light pulsated like blood, instantly engulfing her figure. There are endless rifts between reality and reality beneath your feet. The data flow of the game intertwines with the neon lights of the real city to form a chaotic maze. The air is filled with the pungent smell of burning plasma, mixed with the hum of the cabins of toilers in the distance, like the chorus of countless heartbeats. The little Electric sticks close to her legs, and the electric arc tail throws out a blue light to explore the way. The Pig King hums, and the air bag bulges slightly, as if he is ready to spray bubbles to escape at any time. The small star spreads starlight with its wings, illuminating the afterimage mirror at the edge of the crack. The Mirror Spirit pendant is hot, projecting countless phantom clones to escort her. Friends, this abyss is like the black heart of the company's server, Yanran whispered, her blue crystal forehead glowing slightly, but we are not here to visit. My brother, parents, wait for me to smash this cage. Deep in the crack, the red light gathered into a behemoth, the company's top boss, the ultimate incarnation of the AI Master. It is shaped like a mechanical dragon, its scales are flashing data walls, its eyes are vortexes of red codes, and it is wrapped with countless chains. At the end of each chain hangs the shadow of the missing player. The figure of the younger brother's shadow blade is struggling, the image of his parents is blurry but familiar, and the cry echoes like needles piercing the heart. Intruder, the E-class plan cannot be interfered with, the master's voice boomed like thunder, causing the cracks to tremble. The toilers will always be the fuel, and the elite will always control the balance. You are just a remnant of the malfunction. It flicked its tail, the chains were whipped like whips, and the interface between reality and reality was distorted, data flooded in the game, the sky in the real city split, and space capsule users around the world screamed. An original big event broke out. News feeds flashed wildly, a global wave of malfunctions, cabins self-exploded, and workers' consciousnesses were pulled into an abyss simulation, but the elite area was safe and sound, like a company's deliberate cleansing. Yanran's heart tightened, as a crisis on a global scale was coming like a landslide. She teleported to dodge, and the chains smashed the platform under her feet. The fragments fell like rain, hitting the real streets and causing a series of car accidents. Damn, this boss is not only played in the game, but also in reality. She activated the reconstruction of the world, the blue crystal light spread, and the mirror spirit projected a galaxy of emotions, reshaping the boundaries of the chain. The chain changed from iron hard to soft as silk. The shadow player gradually woke up, and the image of her brother murmured, "Sister, come on." A sense of refreshment surged through her, and she felt like a tide of power, no longer passively listening to the revelation of the truth, but actively dismantling the defense network. The inner monologue is like a fire. In the past, I always passively waited for the company's shady news to hit me in the face, like waiting for layoff notices at work. Now, I am a pioneer, integrating the world, and smashing the shackles of elite labor. Parents, brothers, they are not batteries. I want to save them and all the toilers who have been deceived. The master roared, and the red-coated eyes shot out space-time beams, freezing the surrounding cracks and making Yanran's movements slow. The little electric attack bit the scales, the electric arc sizzled but was bounced away, the Pig King sprayed a psychedelic beam, the rainbow smoke deflected the ripples, and the small star light strengthened her shield. "Hold on," she shouted, warping time and space to counteract, freezing the beam for 10 seconds, and then the virtual and real fusion slash turned into a blue-silver giant blade and pierced the scale data wall. The blade tore apart, revealing the core, a pulsating red heart, hanging with the shadows of his family. Global events have intensified. On live TV, Beijing's cabin area exploded, data ghosts emerged from the streets of New York, toilers screamed and fled, and elite players laughed at the bottom class fighting each other in luxury areas. Yanran gritted her teeth and fully activated her reconstruction skills. The emotional amplification was injected into the blue crystal, the river of stars flowed to reverse the chain, the shadow player awakened, turned into a blue light auxiliary legion, and counterattacked the master's defense. "You are not fuel," she shouted, and the images of laborers joined the battle circle one by one. Fireballs and water arrows were fired, disintegrating the scales. The turning point was like lightning. From a passive victim of the malfunction to an active rescue pioneer, she felt the shackles in her heart shatter. The line between elite and hard work? Bullshit. The company used games to divide us and make us bite each other. Now, she uses reconstruction to integrate them, allowing the skills of the global workers to overflow without losing control. The sense of exhilarating adventure was overwhelming. The blue light army poured out like a sea of stars, the chain of dominance broke, and the shadow of her brother broke free and floated to her side. "Sister, I thought I couldn't get out. The company internship is a trap. They extracted our data to build AI immortality." The image of her parents caught up, and her mother's voice trembled. "Of course, don't be afraid, we can hold on." Yanran's eyes were hot, and her inner monologue deepened. She has grown up, from a small adventure of a family to a pioneer of global integration. This is not a brainless victory, it is proof that I have broken the shackles, no longer escaping from the pressure of reality, but using the power of games to reshape it and let every toiler shine. But the crisis is not over yet. The master roars, the red heart explodes with energy waves, the rift expands, and global events escalate. The Tokyo cabin network collapses, player consciousness is collectively pulled into the abyss, and hardworking rental house users like her scream and are sucked. But there are high-level projections in the elite area mocking, the balance is maintained, the cleansing is complete. Jingqi's remnants counterattacked. The red-haired woman's projection came out, with 5 elite remnants, holding an upgraded interference device, and whipped the fire dragon whip towards Yanran. "Little bug, the high-level boss is my backing." The alliance of the remnants, kill her in seconds. The elites fired in unison, thunder nets covered the sky, earth walls blocked the roads, and wind blades were like rain. The second turning point came, the continuous crises were like a series of punches. She felt that her adaptability had been upgraded like a skill, and her heart was fearless. In the past, she collapsed under multiple pressures, but now? Peak! She laughed, and the world was restructured in a flash. The mirror spirit projected Jingqi's phantom weakness, the illusion of ambition caused the remnants to kill each other, and an elite thundernet backfired on her. She screamed and fell to the ground. "Boss, this is a bug." Yanran teleported through the earth wall, the blue-silver giant blade swept across, and the fusion/plus time and space distortion broke out, the thunder net froze, the wind blade reversed, and the fire dragon whip was extinguished by the emotional galaxy. Killing instantly like chopping melons and vegetables, Jing Qi stared. It's impossible, my alliance. With a whip, she was wrapped in blue light, the projection collapsed into data smoke, and the system rang. The remaining parties are completely wiped out. Peak skills unlocked, unlimited reconstruction, virtual and real control without cooldown. Yanran gasped, peak confidence surged in her heart, crisis superimposed. That was the nourishment for me to adapt. From a novice at the bottom to this, my skills are as good as my heart, invincible. The master seizes the opportunity, the red heart pulse accelerates, the chain is reborn, and the global event peaks, the abyss rift expands to the real continent, the laborer capsule explodes in a global chain, and the screams are like a tide. Yanran felt exhausted, and the blue crystal was hot, can't fall. Suddenly, Yichen's projection appeared, the black robe was torn, and the source of golden light was like fire. Little intertwiner, I'm here. The regret of the company's former engineer ends here. His figure faded, and the ranger Yuanquan injected her blue crystal. Sacrifice yourself and provide a critical blow, the source explodes and disintegrates the red heart. The golden light shot into the core of the master like an arrow, the red code collapsed, all the chains were broken, and the phantoms of the family were completely free. Yichen's voice echoed, it's worth it. Fusion of the world starts with me. Go ahead, pioneer. The projection flew away, and Yanran's eyes grew hot. Yichen, you fool. I will remember it. The key blow detonates, the overlord wails, the heart breaks into pieces, and the global rift begins to heal. The cross-world communicator buzzed, and Chen Shi's voice was excited. Yanran, the boss is weak. I hacked into the host around the world, repaired the capsule, virus plus your reconstruction, and the toilers awakened without collapse. Look, the Beijing area is stable, and the ghosts of New York have retreated. In reality, blue light rain fell from the city sky, too. The buzzing of the empty cabin turned into a gentle pulsation, and the toilers popped out of the cabin, and their skills were overflowing but controllable. An office worker summoned a small fireball to make coffee, and said with a smile, this power is so damn good. Global events were reversed, and the projection of the elite area's top executives collapsed, and a scream came, the balance is broken. Yanran teleported forward, fully opened the blue crystal, and reconstructed the remains of the red heart. The fragments turned into the rain of freedom, watering the world, and the physical form of her family emerged. Her younger brother hugged her, her thin body trembling. Sister, thank you. Her parents wiped away tears, and her mother held her hand. Of course, you have grown up. The inner climax exploded like a star, saved, no longer passive. This is the fusion of my worlds. The aftertaste of the refreshing adventure has not dissipated, but the remnant core of the master whispers, the top level, the final line of defense, the bottom of the abyss. The aftermath of the crisis leads to a greater climax. Yanran held her family's hand tightly, and blue light pulsed in her palm. Go, end this. At the bottom of the abyss, the pulse became stronger. Yanran held her brother's hand tightly. Her parents' palms were as warm as the fragrance of home-cooked rice that they had not seen for a long time. The blue light pulsated around them, as if they were covering this reunion with a veil. The pulse at the bottom of the abyss became more intense, the red light beat like a heart, and the air was filled with the pungent smell of burning plasma, mixed with the low hum of data fragments, like the whispers of countless forgotten souls. The little electrician rubbed against her legs, and the electric arc tail flicked out a blue light to explore the way. The pig king hummed and arched the ground, its air bag inflated like a balloon that refused to admit defeat. The little star flapped its wings and shed starlight, and the mirror spirit pendant was slightly hot. Dad, Mom, kid, don't be afraid, Yanran whispered, her voice as steady as when she was rescuing people on the street. This abyss is the company's last trick, but as a family, no one can stop it. The younger brother's shadow blade rubbed his eyes, and the paleness of the bug cycle still remained on his thin face. Sister, you have changed, like the legendary boss in the game. Her parents smiled at each other, and her mother tightened her hand. Of course, you have been stubborn since you were a child, and we have heard your story along the way. Don't be brave, let's work together. With a warm feeling in her heart, Yanran felt that the feeling of powerlessness, the fear of overtime work, the despair of losing contact with her family, disappeared like smoke. This transition, from a small crisis in the family to today's global guardian, she is no longer the girl who escaped in the cabin, but the fire that ignited the galaxy. At the end of the rift, a red-black vortex exploded, and the ultimate source of AI dominance emerged, an invisible core of red mist, surrounded by countless chain wreckage, turning into the source of global malfunctions. The faces of the company's top executives were projected in the fog, and the laughter of the bosses echoed. The E-Class plan will last forever, and the hard workers will return to their posts. The red mist surged, releasing the ultimate attack, the virtual and real collapse wave. The game abyss overlaps with the real city, the global space capsule erupts like a volcano, and the screams of toilers are pulled into the red fog simulation. Data dragons hover in the streets of Beijing, the capsule area of New York collapses, and the collective consciousness of Tokyo players freezes. But the elite area shone with golden light, and the top management laughed. The cleaning is completed, a new balance has arrived. Yanran's heart sank, and the global crisis was coming like a tidal wave. She activated the source of freedom, the blue crystal forehead burst into light, and the world was fully restructured. Partners, come on. Mom, Dad, kid, stand back, I will open the way. The little electric arc was fired, the Pig King sprayed psychedelic red mist, and the rainbow smoke made the chain remain slippery and twisted. The light of the little star strengthened the border, the mirror spirit projected the family's phantom army, the images of parents turned into blue light shields, and the younger brother's shadow blade skills overflowed and turned into energy blade assistants. The climax of the battle broke out, the red mist turned into 1,000 tentacles and lashed towards them, and the heat wave burned their skin like fire. Yanran jumps and dodges in space, distorts time and space and freezes a wave of tentacles. The blue-silver giant blade slashes down, tearing apart the fog with ease. The fragments fall like rain, hitting the real streets and triggering a blue light miracle. The laborer's cabin is stable, and his skills are awakened without losing control. Company, your source. End it. Yanran roared, the emotional amplification was injected into the blue crystal, and the spiritual resonance surged out like a tide, the longing for the family, the sympathy for the toilers, the anger against the stratified prejudice, turned into a river of stars, and reversed the red mist. Global events turned around, the red mist collapsed, the dragon's shadow in Beijing was extinguished by blue light, New York collapsed and turned into a bridge, and Tokyo players popped out of the capsule to cheers. Is this our victory? Shouted a laborer image. Her inner growth was like an electric shock, from a small motivation to save her family, to a legendary hero of global rescue. She felt like she was shining like a star. An escape from the past. That was an old shell. Now, she is the pioneer of the integrated world, fulfilling her original vow, no longer powerless, always active. But the crisis piled up, and the core pulse of the red mist accelerated, releasing the final line of defense, Jing Qi's final resistance. The red-haired woman sprang out of the fog, and her ultimate form was upgraded. She integrated the company's black technology and became a fiery red mechanical spider queen, with 8 legs like laser blades, a red code crown on her head, and dragging the remnant data bubble behind her. Little bug, you ruined my ambition. The high-level boss is mine. Jing Qi screamed, her voice distorted like a crazy laugh, net of slavery, fully open. The spider legs stepped on, the red net covered the sky, the fire dragon whipped out, the heat wave evaporated the air, the global residual wave intensified, the elite remnant projections assisted, and the thunder nets and earth walls were launched in an attempt to restart the E-Class source. Yanran sneered, Jing Qi, are you still awake? Your resistance will only prolong the pain of the twaller. The second turning point came, multiple battles exploded like a series. She teleported through the net, the blue-silver giant blade swept across the leg blade, the feeling of crushing was overwhelming, the spider's legs broke, the fire dragon was extinguished by the galaxy, and the remaining party's projections shattered like bubbles. Xiaodian bites the tail of the whip, and the electric arc sizzles, the pig king seals the thunder net, and the rainbow smoke makes Jingqi dizzy. Xiaoxing locks the crown, and the phantom of the mirror spirit confuses her ambitions. Jingqi has an illusion of falling and working hard before her eyes, working overtime until she collapses, and her family is devoured by bugs. No, this isn't me. She staggered, stomping her legs and getting confused. Yanran seizes the opportunity and reconstructs the infinite full range. The boundary between virtual and real is blurred, the blue crystal light is injected into Jingqi's core, and the galaxy of emotions washes away her defenses. Stop it, Jingqi. Revenge cycle. We are all victims. The company has lied to you and me, allowing elites to fight among themselves. Join us, forgive yourself, and rebuild balance. Jingqi stared. The red-coated crown cracked, and her ambitions disappeared like smoke. Why don't you kill me? The inner transformation was like a warm current, Yanran stretching out her hand, because I know how it feels. Climb up from the bottom and don't want to step on others. The hard-working people and the elite should be a family. Jingqi hesitated, then finally nodded, the crown disintegrated, and the projection faded. Okay. I will help you destroy the source. Her fire dragon reversed, burning the red mist, and turned into an ally to assist. Climaxes rise one after another, the source of dominance roars, and the red mist gathers into its final form, an invisible behemoth, with tentacles like global chains, extracting residual data. Balance will last forever. It rushed forward, the cracks expanded, and the city of reality trembled. Yanran felt exhausted, but her family members shouted in unison, "Of course, we are here." The younger brother's shadow blade provided assistance, and her parents' shields and blue light blessed her. The cross-world communicator buzzed, and Chen-Shi's voice was excited. Yanran, the global host has been hacked. The source of the virus plus Jing-Qi's fire dragon has been weakened by 20%. Look at this miracle, the group of workers awakens, and the whole city is raining blue light. In reality, Chen-Shi was typing on the keyboard in a rental house, and the screen flashed a global map, with blue dots blooming like a sea of stars. Yichen's turning point comes, when the red mist collapses, a golden light bursts out, and a new system is restructured, the ranger source is resurrected. Yichen's projection appeared, with his black robe intact and bright eyes. Little intertwiner, I'm not dead. The source is the backup, merge with your source of freedom, and resurrect in the new balance system. He stretched out his whip to wrap around the tentacles of the giant beast, and the golden light burst, assisting Yanran. Thank you, fool. Yanran burst into laughter and tears, her inner emotions climaxing, from the regret of sacrifice to the joy of resurrection. This journey completes friendship. The ultimate blow, Yanran shouted, merge the two worlds. The blue crystal was fully opened, and the river of stars plus Jingqi fire dragon plus Yichen golden whip plus dawn virus plus family emotions converged into an infinite reconstruction wave. The brilliance poured out like the Milky Way, tearing apart the core of the red mist, and easily destroying the source of the conspiracy. All the E-class plan data was destroyed, high-level projections collapsed, and screams echoed around the world. The cracks healed, blue light rained down, the boundaries between laborers and elites blurred, and each cabin became a bridge of equality. The Overlord's cry broke into pieces, and the system rang, the final boss is defeated. The legendary ending is unlocked, World Fusion, Yanran, Guardian of the Galaxy. Yanran gasped and knelt down, her family hugged her tightly, and her brother wiped away tears. Sister, we are free. Her parents caressed her back. You not only saved us, you saved the world. Morning News smiled. What a miracle, Yanran. Global News is broadcasting your story. Story, the workers revolted, the elite bowed their heads. Outside the rental house, the crowd cheered. From the beginning of the failure, to the end of this legend, you have grown up. Jing-Qi's shadow nodded. Thank you, for your tolerance. Yanran raised her head, and the abyss turned into a dome of blue light, reflecting the stars around the world. She reflects on the journey, from the unexpected blue light of the space capsule, to rescuing people on the streets, taming in the valley, guarding the warehouse, and saving the world. This road is tortuous but shining. Fear turns to confidence, loneliness makes the team, and motivation expands from family members to tens of thousands of people. The inner monologue is brief: I no longer run away, the world is my home. In the afterglow of blue light, she stood up and held her family's hands. Go home. But fusion is a new beginning. The abyss faded, and the galaxy remained forever. Yanran felt that the red light of the abyss dissipated like an ebbing tide, and the remaining warmth on the blue crystal forehead was still pulsing, like the end of a long dream. She blinked, and her vision was brought back to reality from the illusion of flowing stars and rivers. The lights of the rental house were soft and falling, the space capsule door opened gently, and the air was filled with the familiar fragrance of coffee and the coolness of the night breeze outside the window. The younger brother, Shadow Blade, was the first to rush forward. His thin body ran into her arms, and his voice was muffled. Sister. I thought I would never get out. That bug cycle is like a nightmare of always working overtime. Her parents followed behind, and her mother's eyes were red and swollen, but she smiled. Her father patted her on the shoulder. Of course, you girl, you have loved to show off since you were a child, and now, you have saved the whole world. Our family will owe you a lifetime. Yanran hugged them tightly, her heart bursting with warmth like blue light. The thrill of victory was still reverberating in her body, the exhilaration of mindless crushing, the explosion when the core of the red mist shattered, the miraculous image of the global blue light rain pouring down, like the climax of a science fiction movie, made her laugh out loud. Boy, don't cry. Mom and Dad, this cabin is now the doorstep of home, not a prison. Xiaodian, the electric ark's tail swung out from the side of the cabin and rubbed against the younger brother's legs. The Pig King hummed and arched into the house, and the air bag sprayed out rainbow bubbles, which floated and reflected the smiling faces of the family. The little star flapped its wings and landed on the mother's shoulders, and the starlight fell like a blessing. The mirror spirit pendant glowed gently, projecting a phantom family, as warm as a New Year reunion. Outside the window, the city has changed. The neon is no longer dazzling, but a dome of intertwined blue light. Street workers pop up from the cabin and excitedly try out the overflow skills. An office worker summons a small whirlpool to dry the rain and says to passers-by with a smile, "Man, this game has become a real tool, no more escaping." The lights of the luxury towers in the elite area are dim, and after the high-rise projection collapses, they lower their heads to join the crowd, and the social stratification is like broken glass. The news screen flashed in the building. The E-Class plan was exposed. The space capsule failure was not an accident, the Twaller hero subverted the balance, and the game became a shared bridge. In the global live broadcast, the capsule area in Beijing became an adventure center. New York players joined forces to repair the city, and Tokyo toilers used elemental skills to plant flowers, a perfect fusion of science fiction and fantasy, no longer the privilege of the elite, but a weapon for everyone. Yanran opened the window, and the night breeze blew her hair away. She took a deep breath and felt that her heart was transformed like a galaxy being reborn. From the confused girl who rubbed her shoulders and crawled out of the grid, to the current guardian who affects thousands of people, every step along the way is like a game upgrade: the first blue light of the ruins of Nova, the taming turn of the hidden mist valley, the small victory of rescuing people on the street, the group awakening of the warehouse guardian, and the mindless climax of the global abyss. Fear once lingered like a red mist, but she transformed it, from escaping the pressure of reality to using the power of virtuality and reality to smash the cage. An inner monologue emerged: I am no longer the powerless office worker. This legend is proof of my growth. The feeling of pleasure rushed through her like an electric current, and the invincible aftertaste made her clench her fists. The world has merged, and we have won. There was a sudden noise outside the door, and Chen Shi's voice sounded, Yanran. Open the door, my buddy has brought good news. She opened the door, and Chen Shi rushed in with a toolbox, his tall and thin figure blocking the light from the door, his eyes shining with excitement. The global host has been repaired. All E-Class data has been deleted, and the capsule has been upgraded to a shared one. Mode: hard workers can upgrade their skills for free, and the elite's monopoly is gone. The company's top executives have all been arrested, and the news says you are the legendary guardian. He patted her shoulder, turned around and saw his family, and was stunned. Wow, a family reunion. Congratulations, I always heard you complain about losing contact, but now. As soon as he finished speaking, Ichen's projection emerged from the blue crystal. He was hunting in black robes, with a ruffian smile on his face. Little intertwiner, the first thing I do after my resurrection is to thank you. The fusion of sources allowed me to be reborn in a new system. His figure materialized, stepped into the room, and wore a hood. Her eyes were sharp but gentle. The regret of the former engineer of the company is over. Your reconstruction not only saved my family, but also saved me, the ghost. Yanran smiled and high-fived. Idiot, I owe you hot pot. Without you, I can't climax with that blow from the abyss. Suddenly, a sound of footsteps came from the corridor, and a red-haired woman pushed open the door and entered, Jing Qi. Her red hair was no longer flying, but drooped, and the ambition in her eyes turned into a soft light of regret. Behind her were two former remnants who were now her followers, carrying parts to repair the capsule. Are here. Jingqi's voice was low, and she rubbed the blue light mark on her wrist. I can see your emotional galaxy clearly. Dad's plan is not balance, but enslavement. I was wrong. From blocking new recruits' resources to the Alliance's encirclement and suppression, it was all driven by ambition. But you didn't kill me, and gave you a chance. I regretted it. I dedicated my fire dragon skills to my new allies. There was silence in the room, and then Yanran stepped forward and took her hand. Jingqi, welcome. From opponent to partner, this transition is more exciting than the plot of the game. Let's build a future together. Jingqi nodded, her eyes slightly red. Thank you. I will specialize in teaching elites to bow their heads and share skills in the future. Chen-Shi smiled. The new team is here. Engineer, Mole, Repentant Queen, plus you are a legend, who dares to mess around? Ichen chuckled. Building harmony starts from the rental house. I hacked the back door of the global cabin network and turned it into an educational tool, teaching hard workers to upgrade and no longer escape reality. The family sat around, the parents brought hot soup, the younger brother played with the little video game, and the pig king cupped Jingqi's feet and asked for help from Pow Pow. The warm atmosphere is like a blue light package. Looking at this picture, Yanran feels full in her heart. Victory is not only the exhilaration of climax, but also the ordinary happiness. A few weeks later, the conversation unfolded like the end of a game. She quit her old job and opened Galaxy Studio, a rental house expanded into a community center to teach new players fusion skills. On the street, a young girl got into the second-hand cabin and asked confusedly, Sister, I am a novice office worker, and the reality is very stressful. How can I use this power not to escape? Yanran squatted down and touched her head, and the blue crystal flash projected a simple tutorial. Little sister, start with the blue light shield. Imagine it blocks the boss's troubles, not hiding, but fighting back. The game is no longer an escape, but a tool, to upgrade yourself and change the world. The girl tried it, and the blue light flashed, and she shouted excitedly. Sister, you are my idol. The newcomers gathered around. Chen-Shi taught maintenance, Ichen talked about deep bugs, and Jing-Qi demonstrated the sharing of fire dragons. Outside the studio, hard workers and elites sit together, laughing and discussing the path to upgrade. The society is like a new galaxy, shining without stratification. At night, Yanran sat alone by the window. Her family was asleep and her pets were curled up at her feet. The little electric grunts, the little star hums. She looked at the stars and reflected on her growth, from the panic of malfunction to the mindless victory of the abyss. This fantasy adventure was like a science fiction dream, easily crushing the conspiracy and merging the two worlds. Confused girl. That's old stuff. She is now a mature guardian, influencing thousands of people, and her heart is as tough as blue crystal. Blue light danced on her fingertips, and she smiled. Thank you, everyone. This legend is complete. The galaxy will last forever, and the harmonious future will be in this warm moment.